authorized to work in the U.S.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. Puzder was to have his Senate confirmation hearing today. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Skies are cloudy this morning, 28 degrees, 5:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Governor Bruce Rauner proposing what he calls a balanced budget, but expected spending outstrips revenue by at least $4 billion, and it could be more. Rauner gave his third budget address Wednesday amid a 2-year budget stalemate. First-term governor outlined a plan he said would spend $37 billion, but revenue is only expected to come in at $33 billion. Rauner's budget director says lawmakers can fill the gap by agreeing to spending cuts, small tax increases, and economic growth. 3 men are dead, 2 others in critical condition following a shooting on Chicago's southwest side. All 5 shot yesterday near Pershing Road in Albany. 3 of the victims died at nearby hospitals. No arrests have been made. A judge denying bail for a 19-year-old Chicago man charged with Saturday's fatal shooting of an 11-year-old girl. AM 560's David Stewart with the latest.
Police say Antoine Jones is known as a gangbanger with a lengthy arrest record. They say he was aiming at 3 other people on the sidewalk in the Parkway Gardens neighborhood Saturday when he fired, hitting Takaya Holmes as she sat in her family's van. Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson pleaded once again for the legislature to toughen gun crime laws.
Give us the tools we need to make offenders think twice about pulling a trigger. We need to create a culture of accountability for picking up a gun and using it. Enough is enough.
Johnson said he expected tougher penalties to be passed by now. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Loved ones are devastated following the shooting death of a 12-year-old Chicago girl. Kanari Bowers died yesterday in the hospital, days after she was shot Saturday night playing basketball at a Southside school. Officials say former President Barack Obama returned to Chicago yesterday for the first time since leaving the White House, apparently in town to discuss plans for his presidential library. Authorities say 2 bodies found Tuesday near a northern Indiana creek are those of 2 teenage girls who went missing while hiking. State police say the autopsies determine the bodies are those of the missing 14 and 13-year-old girls. Their bodies found Tuesday afternoon along Deer Creek near Delphi. A Minneapolis man who was shot by Amtrak police near Union Station has died. Chicago police say 25-year-old Chad Robertson died 1 week after being shot. He was taking a bus from Memphis to Minneapolis and was on stopover in Chicago when the shooting occurred. The officer near Union Station apparently fired twice, striking Robertson, wounding him in the left shoulder. The wounded man had cash and plenty of narcotics, but was unarmed. 4 Chicago men convicted of a double murder and robbery that occurred in 1995 had their convictions set aside by a Cook County judge. Prosecutors in July dropped charges against Charles Johnson, LaRod Stiles, and others, but then State's Attorney Anita Alvarez said they would be retried. Lawyer for the group known as the Marquette Park Four spoke yesterday after their convictions were formally dismissed.
We were able to discover powerful fingerprint evidence that proved conclusively that someone else committed this crime. Both men were freed on bail. Alvarez's replacement, Kim Fox, decided not to retry the men, saying her office would not be able to sustain its burden of proof in those cases if they were retried. 4 Chicago restaurants owned by Rick Bayless will be closing today. He says it is a show of support for immigrant workers. Bayless announcing on Facebook that Frontera Grill and others will not be open as a way to participate in the so-called Day Without Immigrants. The Bulls, the 4th most valuable team in the NBA, according to Forbes magazine, says the Chicago Bulls are worth $2.5 billion. Bears sign offensive lineman Eric Kush to a 2-year contract. College hoops last night. Loyola was a winner over Indiana State. Number 24 Maryland knocked off Northwestern. At Welsh Ryan, 74-64. Wichita State over Southern. Northern Iowa nipped Bradley, and Illinois State beat Missouri State. The news service of Illinois Partners for Clean Air. Check daily at cleantheair.org. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Do you own or run a business in Illinois that succeeded in this challenging economic environment? If so, we want to hear about it. AM 560's Business Tour 2017, presented by Signature Bank, will be highlighting business success stories. Tell us your story and be a part of a live broadcast of Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Find out more and submit your information at 560theanswer.com/business. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
If I only had more leads, if I only had more prospects to sell to. Sound familiar? The Sales Prospecting Group is ready to help you take your business to the next level. The Sales Prospecting Group is a local Chicagoland company that has helped hundreds of companies nationwide to secure new business by getting them in the door. The Sales Prospecting Group will get you appointments with qualified prospects to help you grow your business. They don't use contract labor or offshore callers. Their in-house staff of business account executives are highly trained, professional, and effective. The Sales Prospecting Group will build a custom campaign specifically for your business. They know how to navigate complex corporate hierarchies to get to the right people and get you connected with them. The Sales Prospecting Group specializes exclusively on B2B sales. Call the Sales Prospecting Group now to learn how they could help your business grow in 2017. 630-701-9052. 630-701-9052. The Sales Prospecting Group. It's time to grow.
5:08, let's check our roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. 8094 eastbound, right at the state line. There's a crash blocking the left lane. Traffic still moves pretty well in the area. On the Ryan, things are quiet now. There was an earlier report of shots fired around 3 this morning. There's 63rd Street on the outbound side, but everything is open there. Until you get farther south, where there is once again morning road work. 87th split. 2 left lanes are closed till 6 this morning. The other expressways and tollways look great right now. Traffic is a service of the Chicago Auto Show. And the Chicago Auto Show on Snapchat. Find out how you can win free tickets to the nation's largest auto show. The Chicago Auto Show, now through the 20th at McCormick Place. Visit Chicago Auto Show's Facebook page for complete rules. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
A milder day today with clouds and breaks of sun. High 42. Tonight, patchy clouds, low 32. Tomorrow, a full day of sunshine, high 59, and a low tomorrow night, 42. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
28 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Back in studio.
Yeah.
After our little field trip yesterday.
Where's the clapping? Where's the applause?
No, it's all gone.
Applause?
It's all gone.
Please clap.
We left it at Spreveri's Custom Counters in Addison yesterday.
Yeah, the Chuck there. You know, Chuck is a very stylish man. That shirt he had on, I was thinking about that blouse all day. You really need to get one of those tops.
Chuck will be happy to hear that you're thinking about him. And,
but he even talked about the slimming attributes to that top as well. And
well, it's fitted.
It's beautiful. It's a shape fit. Don't know the maker, but it's an Italian designer. And can I say, an Italian designer.
Yeah.
But it's from Nordstrom. So you have a lady over there, a personal shopper.
A stylist.
She should have gotten on that, and maybe she's holding back on the Propster, huh? Maybe she doesn't want you to look too cool out there.
Well, that's true. I don't want to be overwhelming.
You don't want to stop people dead in their tracks like, whoa!
It's true.
Whoa,
I try
look
and
at that hot mama coming by me.
I try and throttle it down a little bit. But anyway, it was nice to be on the road. It's nice to be back. And then next week we're back on the road. We're doing
something on Wednesday.
Charles Power Equipment in Des Plaines.
Can I drive a front loader?
No.
What about a backhoe?
No, I don't think I don't think that company will indemnify us. And I think if you did that,
this station would cease to exist because of whatever havoc you would ultimately wreak.
What about the cherry picker? I go, yee, and I can go up and down it,
Yeah.
like a little ride? No?
We'll get you the toy models to play with in the conference room. How's that? So yesterday, Governor Rauner gave his budget address, and I wonder what people think about Governor Rauner at this stage, where Illinois is at, and what he is efforting to do about it. Do you think that this is the same guy who, as a candidate for governor, said, look, I'm going to make the tough decisions, and if that means I'm a one-term governor, so be it, because somebody has to have the maturity to make the difficult decisions to reverse the state's course, or to, well, that's the question. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Put it another way, the way that Diana Rickard from Illinois Policy Institute, who we spoke with yesterday, put it in her Tribune column this week. Shake up Springfield, that's was Governor Rauner's slogan, right?
Sacadora el Springfield. That's from Evelyn Sanguinetti. That was the Spanish version of Shake Up Springfield.
Yeah, that's better than your pronunciation of Sanguinetti. Yeah. So thank you for that. It's a bilingual education on the morning answer today.
Speaks English.
So Rickard's question was effectively, has Rauner shaken up Springfield, or has the Springfield political class shaken up Rauner? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Take your calls. Here's Governor Rauner laying out his openness to structural tax increase.
The current Senate proposal calls for a permanent increase for the income tax, but a temporary property tax freeze. That's not fair. Not a reasonable thing to do. We need a permanent property tax freeze in Illinois, just like the one the House passed last month. Over time, as our economy grows and revenues expand, any increase in the income tax could be stepped down, dedicating future surpluses to taxpayers, not more government spending.
Any increase in the income tax could be scaled down.
So that means an income tax increase is coming.
That means that he'll support a tax hike. To me, Rauner was impersonating Governor Jim Edgar and in the year 1993. The last year, our credit rating was not the worst in the nation. No, that's actually not true. But actually, the last year, a state in America had a worse credit rating than the state of Illinois does today. That's how bad it is. This is structural tax increases, a desire to spend $4 billion more than anticipated revenue. That's what the governor's office put out yesterday. And he'll make some cuts.
And that's the way to end the stalemate, right?
Well, I mean, if you raise taxes and you do so in exchange for ephemeral reforms, then the Democrats are on board. The question is that do we have a governor who's surrendering to the Democrats the way that Senate Superminority Leader Christine Radogno was attempting to surrender to the Democrats in the Senate? And the answer is by lauding the efforts of Radogno and Cullerton in the Senate and opening the door to a income tax increase when this governor, as a candidate, also promised, you'll recall, that the state income tax would be back down to 3% by the end of his first term. Well, you can write that off. By opening that door, by lauding the efforts in the Senate, aren't you offering the same negotiated surrender that Radogno was attempting to offer?
Same thing, just different messenger, don't you think? I mean,
largely, I do.
And then did you see Susana Mendoza and those other Democrats? They were literally laughing out loud at Rauner. And then spoke to reporters afterwards. Say, oh, he's proposed a balanced budget. Ah! I mean, they looked so silly out there. It was so disrespectful. I mean, regardless of who's your governor, have respect for the office and shut your mouth. This is again, it's a look at me mentality. Oh, I'm going to be big. I'm going to make a name for myself at this budget address. I'm going to laugh at him.
There's a general lack of maturity in Springfield.
I mean, it's bad. We should. I mean, it's just so sick.
And behavior-wise, as well as idea-wise, and certainly as well as courage-wise.
Oh, she snuck her way in there.
S&P reacting to Rauner's budget address. One S&P analyst, Gabe Petek, said, "I'm not sure how far it moves the ball down the field because it's unclear from his speech what kind of framework for revenue to support the spending, because he wants to increase spending in all these areas, what kind of framework he would support or will advance." Here's something interesting as well. There was mentioned about his willingness to cut spending. So people, of course, subsequent to the speech, asked him about that.
Right, because that's important.
And his staff provided an example of some cuts they're willing to make. So including to, let me get this up here, including to epilepsy services.
Get real close to the screen because
epilepsy services, Arc of Illinois, Project for Autism, social service providers, specific social service providers. So understand something. He's unwilling to do some of what Illinois policy proposed, to raise the specter of those issues, like the local government share of state income tax dollars. That's inviolate. But he is willing to zero out funding for social service providers that serve individuals with epilepsy or autism. Does that make sense? Not to me.
Oh, the left is going to pounce on that come election time.
Governor Rauner,
I could just hear the campaign ad. Doesn't care about the autistic.
Well, they would say that no matter what he did. The question is everything he does predicated on what they're going to say about him? Do we have a situation where a Rauner, and this would roil him to hear it, so I hope he does, he's got a little bit of Trump in him. Big talker. In fact, he's also had some Trump moments, the kind of the worst aspects of Trump recently. Sun-Times editorial board, he claimed that Pat Quinn outspent him in the 2014 campaign. Well, that's just factually untrue.
I even know that.
It's absurd. And why are you still talking about the 2014 campaign? It's just silly.
Well, maybe they asked him a question about it. I mean,
why are you talking about who spent what in the 2014 campaign? There's no defense for it. That's way in the rearview mirror. It's forward. It's not about you. It's about the people you were elected to serve. He seems to have forgotten that, if he ever believed it. That's unclear to me. If he ever believed anything that he promised, that is becoming less and less clear to me. But where Governor Rauner finds himself, remember that promise? He will make the tough decisions, even if it costs him being a one-termer.
Right.
He's not making the tough decisions, but he may get the second half of his wish.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Forecast for today, it's going to be mild with clouds and breaks for sunshine, a high of 42 degrees. Then Friday, sunshine with temperatures approaching the record high of 60 degrees, which was set back in, are you ready? The year Dan Proft was born, 1880. We could have a high
grand
tomorrow.
Year.
Yes.
We're welcoming James Garfield into the White House.
It's the year of the rooster. And then your weekend looks spectacular. Highs both days in the mid to lower 60s. Wow, what a treat. Let's go into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. 8094 eastbound. Traffic is stop and go from Burnham Avenue and Lansing to the state line. There's a crash there now blocking 2 left lanes. Plus, you do have the brief delay starting around Burnham. Westbound, all lanes are open and traffic is moving well. A little road work still going on the eastbound Indiana Toll Road from Ripley to the Portage exit. It's a right lane closure scheduled till the 20th. Elsewhere, pretty quiet. The Ryan has some outbound work again from 87th to the split in the 2 left lanes. There were some shots fired around 3 this morning on the Ryan near 63rd, but there's no closure or incident going on there, no ongoing investigation. And again, the other expressways and tollways for now look good. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content supporting what we do here on this show every morning. Long-form interviews in our Against the Current series, 60-second commentaries that I do. This week focused on that New Trier seminar race day. Oh, by the way, one of the groups that's supporting that's I Hate White People Day at New Trier.
Yeah.
Stand for Illinois, Stand for Children, which was brought to Illinois by Bruce Rauner. Oh. Another grand judgment call by the governor. Prior to him being the governor, his political spidey sense. Podcast of our Illinois Rising program, which covers state politics and policy. Man on the Street interviews and our Follow the Logic segment this week featuring those that showed up for the Moon Under Trump Tower this past weekend, as well as 2-minute warnings, dollar and cent series, all kinds of excellent value-added content if you go to upstream-ideas.com and sign up today.
Townstone Financial is synonymous with great rates, low closing costs, and phenomenal service to the thousands who have completed purchases and refinances with us since 2002. Hi, my name is Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
With my house here in Chicago, you guys did my first mortgage, and then we just did the second one on a refi. Let's pick my three lenders that my realtor said that he used, and I'm like, they're not going to come close to Zach, but let's just play with them. And I did, and they didn't come close. Yeah, they're like, yeah, we can't match that. That's fact. You can't compete with Townstone.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639. Equal housing lender.
There's bound to be a good reason when a local startup company becomes an industry leader in only 5 years. Chicago Cut Concrete Cutting achieved this success by offering highly skilled professional services at highly competitive prices. Business owners, project managers, field supervisors, and procurement managers from many of Chicagoland's top companies depend on Chicago Cut Concrete Cutting. They specialize in industrial, heavy highway, and commercial projects requiring concrete cutting, core drilling, as well as wall, slab, chain, wire, and ring sawing. Chicago Cut Concrete Cutting will complete your project on time and on budget. Demolition and sealing services such as silicone and hot tar are also available. For an estimate or questions about your project needs, call Chicago Cut Concrete Cutting, the cutting edge in concrete cutting today at 773-282-2CUT. That's 773-282-2288. Or visit ChicagoCutConcreteCutting.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we're talking about Governor Rauner turning out to be one of those big talkers who tells you who he isn't, which is what big talkers are normally doing. Tiny Dancer, his wine club buddy in Chicago, another one of those guys. And we revisit another sad development as we did yesterday. So the 11-year-old girl that was shot in the head over the weekend, she died yesterday, or 2 days ago.
Yeah, and her organs were donated, by the way. The family came out yesterday and just wanted people to know that.
Okay. And the
way for her to live on into others.
And the 12-year-old girl, Canary Gentry Bowers, who was struck by a stray bullet as she played on her school playground Saturday night, she died yesterday after 4 days of life support at Stroger Hospital. So in the last 72 hours, you've had an 11-year-old girl, a 12-year-old girl, a 2-year-old toddler, all shot and killed in Chicago, and people are very upset about it. Meaning, I'm talking about, when I say people, I mean the civilian political leadership. They're so upset about it, they're going to jawbone the issue and then do nothing. That's how upset
what
they
can
are.
we? I mean, even Nightly News. It was third story in on Nightly News. When will it stop? How will it end? If it ever will end. I mean, what can we do?
Can do a lot of things. How about a curfew? How about a curfew that's enforced?
Both of these shootings happened. The first one, the 11-year-old was shot at 7:15 p.m. and Canary was playing basketball at 7:30 at night on a warm Saturday in February, which is very rare.
I understand. One thing to do is an enforced curfew. We're talking about 800 murders in Chicago last year and another 36 so far this year. I'm not talking about every single case. There is no fail-safe. There is
Yeah.
no panacea. How about an enforced curfew? How about if what they say is true, those that lord over the city, it's just a handful of neighborhoods. Well, you got 12,000 police officers.
How about making drugs legal so that people aren't fighting over turf and customers?
Yeah. So you got 12,000 police officers, bring overwhelming force to these few neighborhoods. What about that? How about
But they're already there. I mean, our police officers have been deployed to. You should see them when they start their shift. They drive out onto Addison and they go left toward the Kennedy and they go south and jump onto the Dan Ryan and leave.
Really?
It's like a parade.
Yeah.
I was going to stop and take video of it. It's amazing.
When I walk down Michigan Avenue on the weekends, I see 3 and 4 police officers congregated on every street corner.
Yeah.
Or every other street corner.
It's a big bucks district.
And I'm not criticizing the police officers because they're being deployed to those areas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm criticizing the strategy. So don't tell me that overwhelming force is being brought to bear when it's not. Clearly it's not. Overwhelming force is being brought to bear at Navy Pier and at the Mag Mile, not in Inglewood, not in Austin.
Should shop owners on the Mag Mile hire their own security to, free up some police officers so they can go to the south and west side? I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there.
We have 12,000 police officers. You're telling me it's a handful of neighborhoods. Don't tell me that if you wanted to bring overwhelming force, I mean overwhelming force, to the neighborhood, 3 cops in every corner in Inglewood and Gresham and
Chatham.
And on down the line. All of the shooting galleries. That you couldn't do it if you wanted to. You could. Enforce and not just to stand there, to enforce a curfew, for example. We have to talk about Kim Fox over at the Cook County State's Attorney's Office in plea bargaining out, repeat gun offenders, repeat violent offenders, short sentences. That's a part of the discussion. There's things that the civilian political leadership can do. Empowering the police officers to make the frequency of stops they used to make, which they don't anymore. I mean, we've talked about
right.
What were police stops down last year over year? 90%?
Yeah.
Why? Because police officers don't feel that anybody's got their back, and because you've turned them into bureaucrats where they've got to fill out reams of paperwork, justifying, every instinct, memorializing it like it's a diary.
Well, if they pull over somebody of a different race, then there's always that other predicament.
President Obama was in town yesterday. Oh, he had time to meet with the Crowns. Hey, thanks, Lester and James. Great job giving us this guy. He's done a heck of a job for Israel, too, by the way. Did he have time to weigh in on this issue?
He kind of snuck in here and snuck out.
Oh, you can't use Hadiya Pendleton's mom as a prop at your State of the Union address anymore? So no comment on the girls that were shot and killed over the weekend? Where's Michelle with the hashtag campaign? Yeah.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Stop the runaround. Continental Audi of Naperville eases your mind on the car buying process. Straight talk deals, a VIP loyalty program, and concierge service loaners. It's the Continental difference. And right now, drive an Audi A4 lease for $399 a month, and we will make your first payment. Continental Audi of Naperville has over 25 Audi A4s to choose from, and more than 300 new and pre-driven vehicles available. Plus, qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on certified Audis. Drive an Audi and feel the difference in your driving experience. Drive an Audi from Continental and know the difference in an exceptional dealership. Experience the Continental Audi difference. ContinentalAudi.com. 36-month lease, 2015 due outstanding, includes first month payment, tax, title, license, extra. Subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services.
Hey, if you're looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, then you need to do what I did, and that's call our good friend over there at Pearl Mortgage, and his name is David Hochberg. Now, if you're interested in a reverse mortgage, listen to these facts published in a recent Harvard University study on the challenges facing our aging population. In 2015, 15 million older adults earned less than 80% of the median income. By 2035, that will increase to 27 million, and 1 in 3 households will be headed by somebody 65 or older. Nearly 70% of older adults will need some sort of long-term care, and the majority will be provided in the home. Reverse mortgages are an outstanding option to help experienced homeowners access the liquidity in their homes to eliminate housing payments and pay for long-term care. Now, if you'd like to get more information about the outstanding benefits of reverse mortgages from a local reverse mortgage expert, then call David right now. 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. David has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but he can't help you if you don't call. 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee, 4358 NMLS 19186. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll take your calls on Chicago violence. We'll also get over to the withdrawal of Mr. Puzder as Labor Secretary nominee.
Yeah, was it his racy comments or was it his ex-wife who brought him down? But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
26 degrees. Police are questioning a person of interest following a shooting on the Dan Ryan on Chicago's South Side early this morning. Shots were fired, according to police, near 63rd. No one hurt. The outbound lanes of the expressway were temporarily closed. Andrew Puzder heads back to his job as CEO of the burger chains Hardee's and Carl's Jr. After withdrawing his name as consideration for Labor Secretary, Puzder began losing Republican support after acknowledging he at one time had employed a housekeeper who was not authorized to work in the U.S. President Donald Trump asking Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to restrain building more settlements.
As far as settlements, I'd like to see you hold back on settlements for a little bit. We'll work something out, but I would like to see a deal be made. I think a deal will be made.
Growing West Bank settlements represent a huge point of contention between Israel and the Palestinians. Republican-controlled Senate expected to confirm easily President Donald Trump's choice to run White House Budget Office. Nick Mulvaney is a Tea Party lawmaker from South Carolina. The California man accused of providing the high-powered rifles to the San Bernardino terrorist expected to plead guilty today to charges. Enrique Marquez Jr. is expected to appear in federal court in Riverside, California, after signing a plea deal. Phoenix, Arizona will not become a sanctuary city. City Council last night turning down a petition to adopt sanctuary status for immigrants, but the mayor there vowed to stand with immigrants in Phoenix. 3 men are dead, 2 others in critical condition following a shooting on Chicago's southwest side. All 5 shot yesterday near Pershing Road and Albany. Loved ones are devastated following the death of a 12-year-old Chicago girl. Canary Bowers died yesterday in the hospital days after she was shot Saturday night while playing basketball at a Southside school. 4 Chicago restaurants owned by Chef Rick Bayless will be closed today, he says, in a show of support for the so-called Immigrant Workers Day Without Immigrants. Bayless announcing that the Frontera Grill and other restaurants will not be open. College hoops last night. Loyola used its best defensive effort of the season to end a 4-game losing skid with a win over Indiana State. Number 24 Maryland knocked off Northwestern at Welsh Ryan 74-64. Wichita State beat Southern Illinois. Northern Iowa nipped Bradley, and Illinois State beat Missouri State. The news, a service of Geico Chicago. Hey, Chicago, Geico now has even more ways to save you money. Your local Geico agent is ready to deliver the personal service you need with the savings you love. Call 773-582-AUTO. 773-582-AUTO for your local Geico agent. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes this is just the beginning of the bashing from the left.
They're in a full-fledged attack. It is nonstop, and it's going to get way worse before it gets better. Are you ready for it? Or are you afraid people are going to start throwing in the towel? They're going to try to beat him and beat his agenda by wearing us down. We're going to be subjected to this crap day in and day out.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing, independently owned business bank. Signature Bank listens to your story, learns about your business, and sticks with their customers. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Kurt Penn, founder and CEO of Good Foods. In 2007, I was shopping in a natural foods grocery store and had a vision for a company that would produce fresh, all-natural foods with a social conscience. Signature Bank helped turn that vision into what now is Good Foods. Signature Bank President Mick O'Rourke listened to our story and learned about our business. Mick has been with us every step of the way. Signature Bank takes care of the details so we can focus on producing good foods. Signature Bank is deeply invested in our success. Good Foods is very proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
5:37 and a check of the roads in our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonti.
Thanks, Mike. 8094 eastbound. Traffic is stop and go from Burnham Avenue to the state line. A crash there now has one left lane blocked. The Edens and the Kennedy are fine. Inbound Eisenhower getting a little congestion now before First Avenue. Stevenson inbound slows Cicero to Pulaski and State to Lakeshore Drive. 37 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Outbound fine. Ryan, 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, lane start at 111th, 19 minutes, 80-94 to the Ryan. Northbound Tri-State a little slow. Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Traffic is a service of the Chicago Auto Show. Shake off winter and visit the Chicago Auto Show at McCormick Place now through the 20th. Download the Chicago Auto Show app for the chance to win a 2-year lease on an all-new Buick Envision or GMC Acadia. Find out more at chicagoautoshow.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. A milder day ahead. Clouds and breaks of sunshine, a high of 42. Currently 28. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by HealthQuest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. HealthQuest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're talking about the 12-year-old girl who was shot in the head, died yesterday, plus the 11-year-old girl shot in the head over the weekend. She died the day prior, and the 2-year-old toddler that was shot and killed on Tuesday. And President Obama's in town, but there's no political advantage for him to demagogue the crime issue and his concern. So he was silent about what has come to pass. What can be done about it? To round up these Malcolm McDowell, Clockwork Orange types. Bruno in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I either read or heard on your station some time ago that the great majority of the violent crime in Chicago is committed by about 1,400 known bad guys. So the solution to the problem is to take out those 1,400 known bad guys, whether you have to arrest them, kill them, I don't care what you do, but that's the way to solve the crime problem in Chicago.
Well, thanks for the call, Bruno. There's a couple of things with that. This is not Minority Report. So
right.
We don't have pre-crime here.
Well, they know who the gang leaders are and the gangbangers are, so.
There's a couple issues. One is the 1,500 people. Yeah, this was this jarring statistic that was included in a story in the Sun-Times a few months back. Chicago police essentially saying there are 1,500 people we know are likely to kill or be killed.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, the 1,500 that are responsible for a disproportionate amount of the violent crime. So, okay, but,
Would it put surveillance on them? Follow them around with drones? I mean, we don't have enough manpower.
Right, to do 1,500 people 24/7 surveillance.
And you can't arrest them without cause. I mean,
no, you can't. And the other problem, too, of course, is one or two go down, whether on the streets or to prison, and they're backfilled by the next. So it's a systemic problem that even though you've got this group of 1,500 that Chicago police have apparently identified, and that's unquestionably a good place to start, but it seemed, but there's a systemic problems, plural, of course, that need to be addressed. By the way, one idea, too, is a friend of mine is working on this project, is bounties. And I don't mean like bounties like vigilante justice. I mean bounties like an elevated Crime Stoppers program where you give people a real financial incentive to tell police what they know in a way that they do not do now.
Okay.
So that's just another, tactic as part of an overall strategy to really focus resources on this problem, rather than, going with your tin cup to President Trump and saying, give me more money.
I got a text message saying you need a curfew to protect the children from gangbangers.
Well, that too.
But,
Right.
I mean, look at those last two girls who were shot, 11 and 12. It was just right after 7 o'clock at night. I mean.
So those are two instances.
I know.
But that's exactly right.
The 2-year-old got shot 3:45 during the day.
So we shouldn't have a curfew then?
I know.
Right. We should have a curfew, and it should be enforced, and that's a good place to start. Reinstitute the rule of law that has been forsaken in these neighborhoods.
It's 10:30. Do you know where your children are?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Ron on the south side.
Hey, good morning. Dan, agree with you. First of all, this lenience towards these people that are getting caught with these guns. And I remember reading the article, and even these guys said it. They don't fear the consequences about that. That's where you start. Secondly, when Danny Davis and Bobby Rush, remember when Danny Davis' nephew got shot, they came up with that silly plan, 30, 20, and 10. But lastly, you talked about Barack Obama. He found the time to make a comment and endorse somebody in the fourth ward automatic race.
Yes.
Somebody that was appointed by Ron. Let me say this. That guy is a sleazebag and a phony.
Wow.
If all these years the people talked about, what kind of person he was and all this, he's a phony, he's a sleazebag, and as you said, he can't use that family for any of his political aspirations. But I've gotten to the point that I despise Ron, and Barack Obama is just as bad. Have a good day.
I love Ron from the south side. Ziff in Inglewood.
Hey, y'all gonna have to come down in the hood. Yeah, seriously, I got a great suggestion for you guys. Good morning to you.
Hi.
Good morning. Why are you whispering?
What's your suggestion?
Dan, Bruce listens to the show, and he's gonna say that somebody poisoned the water with you talking.
Okay. Then I'm trying to Kim Jong-un him? Okay. Or I'm getting Kim Jong-uned. All right.
Don't
Jeff.
go to O'Hare today.
All right. Now, what about the crime problem? You got a comment you want to make on
You're
that?
online, Dan, because I'm getting a lot of heat from the governor about the governor. Everybody's saying he's not going to make it. We got to pull this guy in the real room for a minute. But let me give you some more words, Amy, that you got to remember for today. Serial youth killers. That's what we have out here in our neighborhood right now, Amy.
Okay.
Urban terrorists is what we have in our neighborhood right now. And here's a suggestion. I'm really serious about it to you guys. I want you guys to reach out to Kennedy King College. Dan and Amy, I want you guys to do a listening show at Kennedy King College. Dan, by the way, we own it because Kennedy King is one of the state colleges.
Yes.
Yeah, we know. I've been there. It's nice.
We come over there, guys, one morning at breakfast and have a listening tour, have an open mic, and have all these leaders, and they will come, and Amy, and y'all should just hear it.
That'd be fun. I'd love to do that.
I would love to do that too.
Please
all right,
come and hear what these people had to say. Please.
Good idea. Thanks for the call, Ziff. Yeah, we should see if
Kennedy
we
King
can do
College, they
that.
have a great new media center. You haven't been down there?
No.
Lately? It's nice.
Yeah.
It is. It's one of the nicest media centers I've seen in a long time.
Oh, it's great. What is that again? Oh, it's a college, allegedly. Yeah.
Kennedy King College.
Allegedly.
What do you mean?
Art on the northwest side.
Kids go to school there.
Good morning, Dan and Amy.
Yeah, and what happens?
A lot of comments for you. Was a civil servant for 38 years, 35 in Inglewood. And I want to say a couple of things. First of all, the idea of bringing federal troops, federal people, bring them here. First thing, the comment from all these I got to be careful with my mouth, of all these leaders in the city. Oh, you bring them here, but don't stop and frisk. Stand there with your hands in your pockets and let these poor kids get killed. It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You can't stop and search. I mean, come on.
Thanks
They've had 14,000 marches, and Father Flager, I'm a Catholic, but he's the biggest phony. I mean, come on. They can donate money, I have for this. It's all baloney. If you don't stop and search, you cannot possibly go ahead and stop it. You can't.
Thanks for
I mean, I was there. I know it.
Thanks for the call, Art. Appreciate it.
So stop and frisk in his mind is the only answer.
Oh, it's part of it. Part of it. I mean, there's fundamental answers about family structure that that have to be addressed too. But I mean, in terms of dealing with the urgency of the situation, the violence in real time, this is what we're talking about. What can be done right now until you think about, maybe we should do something about K through 12 education, and frankly, post-secondary education, since the city colleges were brought up. Scam. Dave and Racine.
Greetings, Dan and Damie.
And what about salutations?
Of course.
Damie.
Yes.
He called us Damie. Dan and Amy. Damie. It's like Benifer.
Yeah.
Well, here's a modest proposal. How about having as punishment for these gangbangers castration? I mean, it might calm them down, like you do with an aggressive dog. You got there would be the deterrent effect of losing the family jewels, as they say, and it might keep their genes from contaminating future generations.
They make you even put a gold tint on it and hang it up on the Christmas tree as an ornament.
Thanks for the call, Dave. and the
And the ornament idea.
Yeah, I mean,
Hello?
you and Dave. It's more like Dave me. I think it's you and Dave that are concocting this plan. The Dave me castration clinic, alternative sentencing, but not in a good way.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Kennedy King College. They've got a new wing, a new media wing. That's where they shoot. The U is there. They have a nice studio, and they have classrooms that are adjacent to that where the kids can learn how to be anchors and reporters. Why don't you sign up for it, Dan?
Boy.
Going back to school?
I'm just going to leave that.
Okay. Today, your forecast is going to be a warm one, but the next few days are going to be quite spectacular. Today, we're going to have plenty of sunshine, and we could set a high tomorrow of 60 degrees. That'll be nice. And over the weekend, it's going to be in the mid to lower 60s. But today, again, a high of 42 with some clouds and some sun. Let's go into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. 8094 eastbound, stop and go from Burnham to the state line with a crash in the left lane. The Edens, Kennedy, still fine. Inbound Ike, little heavy, First Avenue to Des Plaines Avenue. Inbound Stevenson, delay start at Cicero, 38 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Ryan, 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishopport, 20 minutes, 8094 to the Ryan. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
The C.H. Hansen Company stands proud as a great American hand tool manufacturer. Founder C.H. Hansen was a Chicago native, and the company remains family-owned and operated for over a century and a half. C.H. Hansen wishes to thank their employees for their service and customers for their business. C.H. Hansen offers over 2,000 products, stock and custom order in 8 product categories, including steel stamps, stencils, metal tags, barricade and flagging tapes, plus Palmgren, makers of work-holding vices and metalworking machinery. Although business, products, customers, and the industry have changed, the leadership of C.H. Hansen continues to attribute success on the founding principles of faith and quality tools. The mission of C.H. Hansen is to glorify God by the way that they serve their customers, treat employees, and help community. This is accomplished by providing valued products, exemplary customer service, and operation excellence. Visit chhansen.com or palmgren.com for more information.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I've seen it in my lab. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection, and I know that it works.
Balance of Nature is providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
No more excuses, gentlemen. A new year, and you need to stop putting things off, especially when it comes to taking care of your health. Dan Proft here. I know we all hate going to the doctor. That's why Low T Center makes it quick and easy to get your testosterone levels checked. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll know your results in about 20 minutes. So if you're drinking coffee or energy drinks just to get you through the day, or if you feel like you need a nap, you may have low T. Low T levels can make you feel tired and grumpy, can raise your cholesterol and cause weight gain. I personally recommend going to my friends at Low T Center. They accept most health insurance, are in-network for most providers, and have flexible hours, including on Saturdays. So don't hesitate to find out what your number is this new year. I'm sure glad I did. Call my friends at Low T Center and tell them I sent you. The number, 630-409-4305. Again, 630-409-4305. Call Low T Center at 630-409-4305 or go to lowtcenter.com.
When I hear realtors boast about servicing a 3-county area or selling a home every 15 minutes, I think, what level of service could their clients possibly be getting? This is Chris Jacobs with Century 21 affiliated in Inverness, and my message is a little bit different. If being a realtor for more than 20 years has taught me one thing, it's that all real estate is local. While I can't say I'm the #1 realtor in the country, I can tell you that over the past 10 years, I've sold more homes in Inverness than anyone else. My team specializes in Inverness, Palatine, and Arlington Heights. We pride ourselves on providing our clients exceptional customer service and local market knowledge. So if you're selling your home or looking to purchase a property in our area, then call me, Chris Jacobs, at 847-401-4859. That's 847-401-4859. Or visit us at chrisjacobshomes.com.
Each office independently owned and operated, an equal housing opportunity.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560 The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
Last winter was pretty much a piece of cake, but this winter, we're told, is gonna be a doozy.
Well, the Farmer's Almanac forewarns that bitterly cold, if not downright frigid, numbing cold weather will be predominating over these parts this winter.
Not looking good, but you can be ready. Smart businesses rely on Air Comfort to keep them and their customers warm this expected frigid winter. Air Comfort is one of the largest commercial and industrial service groups in the Chicago area, with dedicated factory-trained technicians that take a scientific approach to analyzing your system. They have comprehensive year-round preventative maintenance programs and emergency service, plus design, build, and install equipment for new construction and retrofits of existing mechanical systems. Now is a great time to call Air Comfort and schedule an analysis of your company's mechanical system by their certified award-winning engineering team. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
They're here, circling over your head, and they're tracking you down. You feel overwhelmed, like you can't escape. You need a solution to get your back taxes filed, to put your life back on track. You need someone who can keep the vultures at bay and work directly with the IRS to leverage every opportunity to settle your tax debt. Mary Karpowitz, CEO of Comprehensive Tax Solutions, is licensed to represent you before the IRS. Don't let the IRS threaten you. You should never need to speak to them directly. Mary does that for you. Comprehensive Tax Solutions will help you settle your entire IRS tax debt for up to 85% off the original amount owed, including penalties and interest if you qualify. Comprehensive Tax Solutions, family owned in Chicagoland, can be a lifesaver for you. Call 708-478-6770, 708-478-6770, or go to resolveyourtaxproblems.com. Call 708-478-6770 now.
5:57 in Chicago. Let's get an update on your roads. Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. We're seeing delays on 8094 eastbound from Burnham Avenue in Lansing to the state line where there's a crash blocking the left lane. Edens is fine. Kennedy, little congestion past the River Road toll. Past that, it's clear. The Eisenhower has delays starting at Manheim. 31 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. How about 5 to 29? Inbound Stevenson now 40 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. Issue Ford 18 minutes, 8094 to the Ryan. Traffic is a service of Grasshopper. As entrepreneurs, they're always on the go. That's why they created Grasshopper, the entrepreneur's phone system. Get all the features of a business phone system and the freedom of a cell phone with their mobile apps. See how it works at grasshopper.com. Grasshopper, the entrepreneur's phone system. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer comes your way after a full update from Fox News, your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Clouds and breaks of sun today, high 42. Patchy clouds through the night, low 32. Sunshine for tomorrow, high getting up to 59, and will turn out clear at night with a low 42. Then a mostly sunny day Saturday, high 61. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
At 5:58, the news, a service of Accountemps. They know that your business needs can change in an instant, from increased workload to staff absences. Accountemps can help, providing accounting and finance pros. Call them today. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 5:58, here are the stories we're following this morning on AM 560, The Answer. Police are questioning a person of interest this morning following a possible shooting on the Dan Ryan Expressway near 63rd. A police pursuit turned deadly Wednesday when a suspect's vehicle slammed into the driver's side of another car, critically injuring the driver and killing her 13-year-old granddaughter. The granddaughter of Juliana Chambers of Whiting, Indiana, died from her injuries after being taken to a local hospital. It's not immediately known why East Chicago and Hammond, Indiana police were pursuing the suspect, Donnell Howard Jr. of Highland. 3 men are dead, 2 others injured, following a shooting on Chicago's southwest side near Pershing and Albany. Loved ones devastated following the shooting death of a 12-year-old Chicago girl. Kanari Bowers died yesterday. Meantime, a judge is denying bail for a 19-year-old man charged with Saturday's fatal shooting of an 11-year-old girl. Former Lake County coroner is accused of lying about having witnessed signatures on his election nominating petitions. Thomas Rudd was indicted yesterday. Bulls clash with the Celtics tonight. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. President Trump appears to have found his replacement for Michael Flynn as National Security Advisor, expected to name retired Navy Vice Admiral Robert Harward. This as Congress keeps calling for answers on Flynn's resignation and intelligence leaks. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, top Republicans are asking for the Justice Department's Inspector General to investigate leaks of classified information. House Intelligence Committee Chair Republican Devin Nunes plans to ask the FBI what's been going on.
It's totally unacceptable for anyone within government to be doing this. Now, I think most of this is probably from people who were in the old administration.
Democrats are calling for an independent investigation into the substance of the leaks that members of President Trump's inner circle reportedly had regular contact with Russian intelligence officials during the 2016 campaign. Dave.
Rachel, the president needs to find someone else to be labor secretary after Andrew Puzder dropped out before today's Senate hearing.
Democrats had obviously targeted Andy Puzder. They didn't like his views on labor policy. There were allegations of spousal abuse. There were issues about whether or not he had properly paid and reported taxes cases for illegal immigrants, undocumented persons who worked for him.
And Fox's Chad Pergram at the Capitol says this is when it fell apart.
There were about 12 Republican senators who went to Mitch McConnell, the majority leader, and said that they were skeptical of Andy Pudzer.
This is a day without immigrants. That's what activists are calling a protest, urging immigrants across America, regardless of legal status, to not go to work or school today to disrupt businesses.
All of us contribute in a way that allows this country to thrive.
Angela Fernandez of the Immigration Rights Coalition in New York City. President Trump has vowed to crack down on illegal immigrants who commit crimes. A Mexican woman with 2 misdemeanor convictions ordered deported in 2011 is now taking refuge inside a church in Denver after immigration authorities denied her request to stay in the U.S. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Do you own or run a business in Illinois that succeeded in this challenging economic environment? If so, we want to hear about it. AM 560's Business Tour 2017, presented by Signature Bank, will be highlighting business success stories. Tell us your story and be a part of a live broadcast of Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Find out more and submit your information at 560theanswer.com/business. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
Men, if you're like me, you appreciate the feeling of a smooth, clean shave. But you're tired of paying $32 for new blades. Stop messing around with those generic razors and start shaving with Harry's for half the price. Harry's is so confident in the quality of their blades, they'll send you their most popular shave set, shaving cream, and post-shave balm for free when you cover shipping, a total value of $20. Just go to harrys.com now and enter code 0808 at checkout to redeem your shave set. That's harrys.com, code 0808.
Hiring is the most challenging part of my job.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. One click and my job was posted to 200 plus job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 200 plus job sites. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Radio Garden Sense, a show bringing your property's gardening needs alive. Radio Garden Sense, Sunday mornings at 11 on AM 560 The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, Andy Pudzer, we hardly knew ye, although he gets to go back and make those great Carl's Jr.'s commercials now. So,
do you think he'll include in one of his commercials with this happening, that he was up for labor secretary, then decided to step down as labor secretary?
Well, he was beset by a number of relatively small controversies, some totally manufactured from the evidence that we know to be true at this point. But he had lost the confidence of more than a couple of Republican U.S. senators who got a little jumpy, and that ultimately led him to withdraw his name from nomination.
Yeah, so I have a question for you. Was it the illegal maid? Was it his ex-wife? Or was it the racy commercials? 312-642-5600 is our turkey depot.
I believe it was Colonel Mustard in the study with a candlestick.
Because, listen, all of a sudden, up until 2 days ago, Oprah Winfrey and that OWN network couldn't find the infamous interview. Okay, so a few years back in the 80s, Pudzer's wife at the time, Lisa Fierstein, went on the show anonymously. She had on a wig, big glasses, and talked about domestic violence, claiming that she was a survivor of domestic violence.
The most frightening thing was leaving, because once I made that break and once I made it public, and remember, my ex-husband was a public figure. Everyone knew him and knew what he was doing. And once I made that public, he vowed revenge. He said, I will see you in the gutter. This will never be over. You will pay for this. I wound up losing everything, everything. I have nothing. He has a Porsche and a Mercedes-Benz. He has the home. He has everything. He was an attorney, and he knew how to play the system. I was married for 14 years. But it wasn't until one day I realized this had nothing to do with God, as you just said. This was not a relationship. This was a belief in something that didn't exist.
Yeah.
Most
But
men
here we
who
go.
are
Okay.
No, you gotta hear this.
in positions like that don't leave marks. The damage that I sustained, you can't see. It's permanent damage.
So he never touched her. She just think he mentally abused her. And then guess what, though? She recently recanted,
yes.
and no charges were ever filed against Pudzer.
Yes. Well, the point of emphasis is she walked all of what she said on Oprah back in and said it was in the context of leveraging her position in the divorce proceeding. So what's the controversy here?
Well, they tried to get Oprah Winfrey and the O Network to hand this over, and they finally allegedly found it and brought it to the forefront 2 days ago.
There was the issue of a housekeeper he didn't know was in this country illegally, so he says. That old issue that has tubed a number of nominees in both Republican and Democrat administrations. And then there was, allegations. I mean, the AFL-CIO put the full court press on against this guy. Allegations of stiffing some of the workers in his franchises, which is the veracity of which is highly questionable. But the bottom line is he's out, and it's interesting because you think, the left has a scalp now. But in the Daily Beast, Michael Tomasky writes, the Democrats scalp Andrew Pudzer and change nothing. He writes, and by the way, he's very skeptical of the ex-wife's old allegations too. But he writes, so the Democrats got a scalp, which is good, but they didn't get it the way they wanted to get a scalp, which is through arguing that so-and-so is too extreme and right-wing to be such and such secretary, and galvanizing public opinion to such an extent that even 3 Republican senators felt pressure to break ranks. But he points out that Pudzer will just be replaced by somebody just from their perspective as anti-worker, meaning free market. Or maybe more. One name floating around is Peter Kirsanow, who is a management side lawyer, an African-American gentleman who actually writes for National Review. I've read his stuff for a number of years now. So Tomasky in Daily Beast goes on to say, Trump doesn't care with the labor secretary. Some person or persons at the Heritage Foundation or the Competitive Enterprise Institute will elevate a name or two, and Trump will select that person. So I think, I don't agree with all of his hysterical characterizations of conservatives, of Andy Pudzer or others that may replace him, but I think he's generally speaking right. What did the Democrats accomplish? He will be replaced. He'll be replaced by somebody that it'll be much more difficult to manufacture these kinds of issues and scare a handful of weak-kneed Republicans like your Susan Collins, like your Lisa Murkowski. And he'll be installed as labor secretary. It's unfortunate because Pudzer, I think, would have been excellent, but the replacement will be installed, and we'll move on. And this will be a minor bump in the road for the Trump administration, much like, as we talked about briefly yesterday, during the first 100 days of the Obama administration. Who recalls the, Tom Daschle withdrawing his name as HHS secretary because of his business conflicts of interest?
Oh, that's right.
How did that derail Obamacare?
No.
That derail the President Obama's agenda? No. Labor secretary, after that person is appointed, that person is normally quickly forgotten. Kevin in Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, I would think even with the 12, it's got to be the burger commercials, Amy, just so you know.
Yeah.
But I would think after the 12 Republicans backed out, he should have like 45 Democrats voting for him. He had an illegal alien working for him. Isn't that what they're pushing for?
Yeah, she was a dreamer.
To be treated equally in this country?
Yeah, it's very complicated, Kevin.
That is a great point.
Thanks for the call.
Because she was a dreamer. She was brought here by her parents when she was a kid.
This may be the last day.
Wow, this is strange. This is...
Well, that's what happens when you practice situational ethics. You wind up all tied up in a knot. But this may be the last day that we can play Carl's Jr.'s ads without seeming
a little creepy. Well, which one do you want? Do you want the Tex-Mex commercial or do you want the three-way burger?
We've done the three-way burger. Let's try something else.
Black Angus beef and bacon, So Tex. Fire roasted peppers and onions? It's Mex. Let's settle this.
Playing volleyball over the Mexican wall.
Mex! Mex! Mex!
Should we tell him it's both? Eventually.
When Tex meets Mex, it's a win-win. The Tex-Mex Bacon Thick Burger. Only at Carl's Jr.
Well, two things on that. One,
yes, you have to see it, though, because their girls are beautiful bodies playing volleyball over the Mexican-American border, the wall, and jumping around a lot, and G-strings.
Yeah.
One with Mexican on one bikini and America on the other.
Carl Jr.'s ads don't translate particularly well to radio. That's number one. And number two, I'm hungry all of a sudden.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You want the Tex-Mex burger? Pretty good.
So,
But he knew that sex sold. I mean, he's said it on CNBC, on Fox Business News. And I don't hold any grudges against him for that. I don't see him as sexist and racist and, condescending to women. It's what he does.
I don't think there's anything wrong with a beautiful woman in a bikini eating a burger and washing a Bentley or a pickup truck or being in a hot tub. I think there's probably nothing more American. I don't have a problem with our ads.
That's why he would have been such a great labor secretary.
I know, it would have been great.
That's the things you don't normally hear from a labor secretary. I mean, he could have revolutionized working in America.
Right.
Could be more of that in every workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do like Puzder does. What would Andy Puzder do?
Everybody would be dressing differently in Washington. Well, I don't know if I'd want to see that, though.
No, I mean, there would have to be standards set.
Yeah, boundaries set.
Should be. Okay, so Andy Puzder, he's gone. There'll be a labor secretary nominee, and then this will dissipate. We're also... Bye, Andy. We'll see you on CNBC and
he's
Bloomberg, and we'll see.
You know what? He's probably relieved because his friend said that he was getting very tired of the abuse and all these constant barrage of questions. Because his wife, who appeared, by the way, on the Oprah show as Ann, really said she was encouraged to do it by her friends, and she was enticed by a free trip flying first class to Chicago.
Yeah.
Well, that's what she said because she wrote a letter
back when people actually used to come to Chicago
to the Senate, committee hearings, saying that she regrets saying that it didn't happen, and that's why she appeared on Oprah.
Well, I mean, it's a reason that a lot of otherwise talented people don't want to go into politics, whether electoral or, I mean, this is electoral politics too, but I mean, whether as a candidate or as an appointee to some high-profile position, because they don't want the proctology exam, the public proctology exam that you get. And it's not, a genuine fact-finding mission either, of course. It's your political opponents manufacturing, demagoguing, denigrating, name-calling, smearing you. And it's the Ray Donovan line, Reagan's labor secretary after he was acquitted, where I go to get my reputation back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is there a running tally on how many politicians or wannabe politicians who have been brought down because they had illegal help in their house? I mean, what about Arnold Schwarzenegger? Was she here legally?
Arnold Schwarzenegger said...
Just wondering.
Arnold Schwarzenegger said yesterday that Congress is more unpopular than herpes.
What?
And I'll tell you what, I will defer to his expertise on that topic.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Today mild with clouds and some sun, a high of 42 degrees. And then we're going to have a warm up around here for the next 4 days. Friday, we're going to have plenty of sunshine, approaching the record of 60 that was set back in 1880. Dan remembers good old days. Dan remembers it well. High tomorrow, 59 degrees. And on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have highs in the low 60s. Now let's go into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Delamonte.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. On Chicago's northwest side, southbound Pulaski, just north of Belmont. There's a right lane closure on Pulaski. This is due to police investigation due to a shooting in that area. Elgin, crash on Dundee just south of the Adams Tollway. Eden's inbound, just a little congestion approaching the junction. Outbound still clear. And on Kennedy, 23 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 21. Eisenhower's 33 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 31, stall at Des Plaines Avenue on the left shoulder. Stevenson, 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan is 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Westbound Tri-State heavy at 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
The website upstream-ideas.com, content that complements, adds value to what we do on this show. Long-form interviews, 60-second commentaries, Man on the Street, Follow the Logic segments, this week featuring all those who dropped their drawers in front of Trump Tower this past weekend. Very interesting logical analyses from that crowd. 2-minute warnings on a politician you should be leery of, dollars and cents, how your money's being spent or misspent. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Don't go to bed another night worrying about unfiled tax returns or the letters or the calls you're getting from the IRS. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, there's actually good news. The IRS has recently enacted changes in the tax law called the Fresh Start Initiative, specifically for troubled taxpayers who owe the IRS. You may be able to settle your entire tax debt for up to 85% off the original amount owed, including penalties and interest, if you qualify. Call for your free consultation with Comprehensive Tax Solutions. No matter what tax issue you're facing, one call to Mary Karpowitz of Comprehensive Tax Solutions, family owned in Chicagoland, can show you the difference between night and day so that you can enjoy what matters most to you. Don't spend another day or night hiding from the IRS. Call 708-478-6770, 708-478-6770, or go to resolveyourtaxproblems.com. That's resolveyourtaxproblems.com with Comprehensive Tax Solutions.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I'll tell you what's interesting about Donald Trump. The current reality TV star POTUS, Trump, is actually discarding some of the more garish traditions of the previous reality star president, he being Obama. Did you see this? He is not going to do the ESPN bracketology nonsense. He's not filling out a bracket and parading himself on the ESPN airwaves and trying to be like, I'm a sports guy.
Yeah, I remember he spoke during one of the playoff games. Remember that? Or no, which game was it? The Cotton Bowl? I don't know, but yeah, he's not a sporty guy. I mean, he plays golf, but he doesn't work out. Speaking and moving his arms at rallies is the most exercise he gets. So I'm glad he's not posing to be a basketball follower or fan.
Well, that's what Obama did. Obama's a dink.
At least he plays basketball.
No, he plays, in rolled up sweatpants.
Well, there's a girl-sized ball and a men's-sized ball, and he plays with the girl-sized ball.
Obama, preening to try and be a regular guy with the complicit ESPN. Trump saying, no, thanks. Good for him. One other thing he's thinking about doing, jettisoning the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oh.
Excellent.
Do you really? See, I would love to see. I mean, that's a roast to the media. It's it's fun.
Yeah.
And it shows his comical chops.
Yeah, right. Trevor Noah, who apparently hosts The Daily Show, which I didn't know was still on.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. He volunteered to host the White House Correspondents' Dinner because, he's desperate to be relevant. But Trump is saying that, no, the indication is that he may get rid of it. And I'd get rid of it and say, look, 9 of the 10 attendees, the Hollywood types and the journalists, big taxpayer-funded dinner and drink fest for them where they all backslap each other. 9 out of 10 voted for the Democrat nominee for president since 1960. Nah.
But you know how they're going to spin it? The left will spin it this way, saying Donald Trump canceled the White House Correspondents' Center because no one was going to show up. Because no A-listers from Hollywood no A-listers from Hollywood are going to go. They aren't. And I doubt Jim Acosta from CNN's going to go, or Dana Bash, or Wolf Blitzer, or any of them are going to go.
Who cares? That's the point. And Trump should preemptively strike them. Who cares? I'm not participating in celebrations of you at taxpayer expense, by the way. No, thanks. Nuh-uh.
Can we pay for that?
I like it.
I thought they charged the journalists.
Yeah, right. Donald Trump also getting back on the campaign trail. This is a good idea. Get back out there and, get out of the bubble and out back into kind of a rally format. He's having a rally in Florida this Saturday evening at a hangar at the Orlando airport.
Nice.
Yeah. Byron York has a good piece on this, too, about him getting back to hitting the campaign trail. He has a number of things to talk about, even with the swirling controversies around his executive order on travel of individuals from certain countries, the temporary ban, as well as Flynn. Let's remember the executive orders that he has signed thus far, 3 weeks. Reduce the regulatory burdens of Obamacare, freeze federal hiring, pull the U.S. out of the TPP, approve the Keystone XL and Dakota Access pipelines, strengthen enforcement of the nation's immigration laws beyond the temporary pause. The pause, that's redundant. Authorize planning for the U.S. border wall, U.S.-Mexico border wall, tighten White House ethics rules on lobbying, try and limit the revolving door. Reduce the number of federal regulations 2 to 1. Weaken Dodd-Frank for the purposes of ultimately overturning it, eliminating it by the year's end. And there's legislation filed, as we mentioned yesterday, by Ted Cruz in the Senate and companion legislation in the House that would eliminate Senator Pocahontas Crocodilia's Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And, so that's a lot of action in addition to a number of high-profile cabinet departments that have had their nominees confirmed and are working in earnest in their respective agencies. So, there is a lot for him to talk about, and I hope he makes it more expansive than just the shots back and forth between him and the media over matters like the Mike Flynn controversy, including meetings with heads of state like Bibi Netanyahu yesterday. We'll talk to Michael Rubin about that after Mike Scott's news at the bottom of the hour. But in that post-meeting presser that Bibi did with Trump, of course, the question of Flynn was raised, and here's what Donald Trump had to say about the treatment of former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn.
Michael Flynn, General Flynn, is a wonderful man. I think he's been treated very, very unfairly by the media, as I call it, the fake media in many cases. And I think it's really a sad thing that he was treated so badly. I think in addition to that, from intelligence, papers are being leaked, things are being leaked. It's criminal act, and it's been going on for a long time before me, but now it's really going on. And people are trying to cover up for a terrible loss that the Democrats had under Hillary Clinton. I think it's very, very unfair what's happened to General Flynn, the way he was treated, and the documents and papers that were illegally, I stress that, illegally leaked.
Mm-hmm. And, some of the response has been, there was no reason that Flynn had to be thrown under the bus. There was no reason that Trump had to ask for his resignation. But you can say that Flynn was treated unfairly and that the leaking of information, classified information, is a problem. Both of those things, certainly the second thing is true. The first thing may be true. I think it's still a pending issue. And still say, but he did lose our faith because he wasn't completely forthright in conversations about his conversations with the vice president. And so that's ultimately that loss of confidence matters.
And that's what rubs me the wrong way is how Vice President Mike Pence was kept in the dark for 15 days. And I feel that they Susan Riced him. I mean, they made him go on the Sunday morning talk shows and said, no, Flynn didn't talk to the Russian ambassador about lifting sanctions. When, according to NBC News and Katie Tour, that's all they talked about in that phone conversation.
Well, the questions are many, and a number of them surround just how much of a conversation did General Flynn have about Russian sanctions with the Russian ambassador? How much could he have possibly forgotten? And I was speaking to a high-level source last night who says that they just don't understand how he could have forgotten this conversation because it was the subject of pretty much an entire phone call, which is a big news, that an entire phone call, or the majority of a phone call, was devoted to how they would deal with the sanctions. It's unclear exactly what was said because those transcripts are not out. There's a tight hold both in the intelligence community and with very few members of the White House right now about who's allowed to see those transcripts.
Yes, okay.
And don't you think those transcripts should be made public?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to just full transparency.
I'm on board with the Wall Street Journal yesterday. Andy McCarthy writing about it, National Review yesterday as well. Release the tape. Release the transcript.
Yep.
Redact what you need to if there's particular national security concerns. But go ahead and just end all of this wild speculation. And frankly, if it is as pedestrian as it's been suggested it was with respect to the content of Michael Flynn's interactions with this Russian ambassador, and again, he had interactions with another almost 36 representatives of foreign governments as he was poised to be elevated to National Security Advisor. That is not unusual.
You know who?
Then let's hear it and be done with it.
You know who wants an investigation? Your friend Todd Christensen's back. Todd.
With every passing day, it gets more and more disturbing and more evident that there was collusion. This requires, it begs, it cries out for an independent bipartisan investigation.
Yeah, it cries out for an investigation into the leaks, and that's what we're going to do.
And she said that Donald Trump should be the first person asking for one.
Yeah, whatever. Jimmy on the Edens, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Hey, setting up the dream team for 2020 for the Democrats. We got Pocahontas Warren from Michigan and the Vietnam veteran Blumenthal from Rhode Island. What a team, huh?
Pocahontas and Blumenthal from Connecticut. Yeah.
From Connecticut. Yeah. What a team.
What was the ticket? What did you have?
The veteran.
Huh?
What did you say?
No. What's the handle for that ticket?
Oh, the dream team for 2020.
Oh, dream team. Okay. All right. Thanks, Jimmy. What did you say? Foca veteran?
Foca veteran. That's what I call it. Well, he said he was in combat in Vietnam and he wasn't in a theater of war there.
Yeah. Well,
just a minor detail.
That's a problem.
Stolen valor, maybe.
Yeah, I still, though, I got to say, I was pleased to report from a Politico op-ed on Monday that Hillary Clinton is poised to run again in 2020. Now you could have Mike from the North Side's dream come true, which would be the greatest merchandising opportunity since 2016 and all the Trump wear.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton and Elizabeth Warren. Either way, who's on top, who's on bottom. I don't.
Okay, gross. Too soon.
Who's VP? Who's president? I don't know. And then you have your grumpy old menopause ticket.
Oh, good.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth. I had a failed root canal and it was causing me pain. Dr. Naruzzi took care of my tooth and I got my implant, and then I had another after that fail, and he did that one as well. And the experience they were amazing. It was not painful at all like I thought it was going to be, and I was very, very, very nervous about the whole thing. Nobody enjoys getting, implants or dental work, and I procrastinated, but I had to have it done. And he took me in immediately and took care of it. And he made it really affordable. They're very accommodating to people that cannot afford to have it done. I would recommend Dr. Neruzzi to anybody, and I have given him referrals. My own sister had hers done by him.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants. Go to implantsforme.com.
For missing teeth, dental implants are wonderful. The advantages are fantastic. Just remember, implantsforme.com. Implantsforme.com.
Hey, there's a lot of talk right now about school choice. Well, if you've always felt like you didn't really have a choice to send your child to a private school because of the cost, because of the money, then listen up. We want to tell you about halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find a local private school all over the Chicagoland area that are offering vouchers for a full year of tuition at half the price. There's no catch. Find a school near you, purchase the tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school. It's that simple. HalfPriceSchools.com has schools located all across the Chicagoland area, including Arlington Heights, Romeoville, LaSalle, Peru, Kankakee, Aurora, Antioch, just to name a few. So make private schools a real option for your family for the first time this year, but do not wait. These vouchers do sell out. Visit HalfPriceSchools.com today. That's HalfPriceSchools.com. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
BBE calls Trump the best friend Israel can have. We'll discuss with Michael Rubin at 6:36.
And later today is a day without immigrants. We'll explain, but first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. 26 degrees at this hour. Word that U.S. intelligence officials may be withholding sensitive information from President Donald Trump. Officials telling the Wall Street Journal that some intelligence information has been kept from the president. The intelligence officials fear that it would be compromised or leaked, draining Republican support, prompting President Donald Trump's pick for Labor Secretary to withdraw his name. Andrew Puzder acknowledged he had at one time employed a housekeeper who was not authorized to work in the United States. Workers at a Boeing plant in South Carolina have said no in an effort to unionize. It was a humiliating defeat for the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, who bought billboards, print ads, TV, and radio, spending thousands of dollars on ads urging workers to vote for the unionization effort. Some immigrants across the country are expected to stay home from school and work today. They say they're showing how critical they are to the U.S. economy. They and some other supporters are planning protests in Philly and Boston and a few other cities. Police are questioning a person of interest following a possible shooting on the Dan Ryan this morning near 63rd. A police pursuit turned deadly Wednesday when a suspect's vehicle, running from police, slammed into the driver's side of another vehicle, critically injuring the driver and killing her 13-year-old granddaughter. Granddaughter of Juliana Chambers of Whiting, Indiana, died from injuries after being taken to an area hospital. 3 are dead. 2 others are in critical condition following a shooting on Chicago's southwest side. It happened near Pershing Road and Albany. Chicago sports. Bears sign offensive lineman Eric Kush to a 2-year contract. Bulls clash with the Celtics later tonight. The news service of Westin Hotels and Resorts. Westin knows how disruptive travel can be to your well-being, but with rejuvenating heavenly beds, a nutritious superfoods RX menu, and gear lending for when you leave that workout gear at home, Westin will help you stay in control and rise above it all. Westin, let's rise. Learn more at westin.com. 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager is sympathetic to teachers.
Most teachers care about their students. They also care about their incomes. They're really between a rock and a hard place, most teachers. If the issue is what is good for children, the teachers' unions are despicable. If the issue is what's good for my income, the teachers' unions are angels. That's really what a teacher has to confront. If you know only one thing about life, know that whatever the left touches, it wrecks.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
You're never too old to learn something new, especially when it concerns your golden years. Join North Shore Capital Group at their retirement educational classes held at local colleges in your community. Each class is an interactive workshop that's held over 2 sessions and includes a workbook for you to keep and follow. Instructor Victor Rigoni will provide you with the tools and guidance to help you reach your personal finance retirement goals. At the end of the full class, you'll receive an opportunity to book an independent, complimentary consultation so that you can implement a proper retirement strategy. It's never too late to educate yourself about retirement. Call North Shore Capital Group, 312-260-7929. That's 312-260-7929 to find a workshop near you. North Shore Capital Group Incorporated, an independent firm with securities offered through Summit Brokerage Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC, and advisory services offered through Summit Financial Group, Inc., a registered investment advisor. 847-735-9200, 250 East Illinois Road, Suite 201, Lake Forest, Illinois, 60045.
It is 6:36. It's time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Let's get an update on your ride to work this morning in our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On Chicago's northwest side, there's been a shooting near Belmont and Pulaski. There's a right lane blocked on southbound Pulaski, and Melrose is closed between Pulaski and Karloff. Arlington Heights got a rollover at Rand Road and Arlington Heights Road. Edens is 24 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 20. Kennedy, 29 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 22. The Eisenhower, 39 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 35 minutes. Stevenson, 46 minutes, 355 to the drive. To Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, heavy 95th to the 83rd Street toll, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Traffic is a service of Staples. Are you trying to acquire new customers for your business? Staples Print and Marketing Services helps you promote your business with low prices on presentations, signs, pens, mugs, and more. Right now, you can get 15% off custom signs and banners. Ends 3/24. See an associate for details. Staples, make more happen. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Mild today. Clouds and breaks of sunshine, high 42. Currently 26. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in town yesterday had a very, it seems, cordial meet with Donald Trump. They've known each other for some time, as BB has mentioned before.
A lot of admiration there.
And here's what BB said about Trump, and this was sort of riding to the rescue of Trump after a reporter had asked Trump about the attacks against him, suggesting he's a racist and all of the other things the left says as a matter of course. Here's Bibi talking about Trump vis-a-vis Israel.
I've known the president and I've known his family and his team for a long time. And there is no greater supporter of the Jewish people and the Jewish state than President Donald Trump. I think we should put that to rest.
That is a pretty strong statement. And, a good indication that the relationship between our country and our one reliable Democratic ally in the Middle East is going to be a lot stronger during the Trump presidency than it was during the Obama presidency. The other thing I just want to raise, because I'm a pretty big fan of Netanyahu, particularly when it comes to national security matters, the whole two-state solution.
Right, one state, two states.
His response on this to, the pedantic inquiry of the D.C. press corps was excellent. Take a listen.
With your question to the problem that I said, it's the label. What does Abu Mazen mean by two states, okay? What does he mean? A state that doesn't recognize the Jewish state, a state that basically is open for attack against Israel? What are we talking about? Are we talking about Costa Rica, or are we talking about another Iran? So obviously it means different things. I told you what are the conditions that I believe are necessary for an agreement. It's the recognition of the Jewish state, and it's Israel's security control of the entire area. Otherwise, we're just fantasizing.
Very clear. And I'll tell you what, if a Palestinian state would be like Costa Rica, then I would consider moving there, as like every Illinoisan, I'm looking for some place to move. But I think it would be much more like Iran than it would Costa Rica, I'm sorry to say, and I think that was part of Netanyahu's point. But for more on this topic and other geopolitical matters, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Michael Rubin, a resident scholar for the American Enterprise Institute, the author of a number of books, including Dancing with the Devil and Kurdistan Rising. Michael, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dan.
So your reaction to the interaction between Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday?
Well, I mean, certainly for Netanyahu, it was a breath of fresh air after being basically public enemy number one to the Obama White House. That said, the dynamic was interesting simply because the two had never met before they walked into the press conference. Usually the two world leaders, the president and his guests, will sit down beforehand, but Netanyahu basically got out of his limo from the airport and walked right up to the podium. And so the two were actively feeling each other out during the press conference.
Well, what about the breathless reporting subsequent to the press conference about Trump breaking with U.S. policy for decades and suggesting that he, maybe he's not necessarily a supporter of a two-state solution, kind of keeping it open-ended, as well as suggesting that he's looking at moving the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
Well, what I interpreted Donald Trump to be doing was simply putting the Palestinians on notice that there is a ticking clock that's counting down and that it's in their best interest to make the deal now. For all that President Obama or Secretary of State John Kerry talked about how demography means that Israel needs to make a deal now, otherwise they would be overwhelmed by a Palestinian population between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea. They actually got the numbers wrong simply because when you look at the Palestinian numbers closely, first of all, let's remember that Gaza has been functionally independent. Israel withdrew completely in 2005. The Palestinians count all the Israeli Arabs in Jerusalem, so in effect they're double counted. And there's 1 million Palestinians who have left the West Bank and Jerusalem, and the Palestinians still count them even though they don't live there. And so Trump is actually dealing a little bit more with reality here.
So you think he's being more diplomatic and just weighing the situation before deciding between a one and two-state solution?
I'm sorry, Amy, could you repeat that, please?
Do you think, he's being more diplomatic and just waiting to comment officially on whether he wants a one or two-state solution?
Well, the Israeli policy is a two-state solution. So is the United States policy, and honestly, I don't think that's changed. What I heard differently from Donald Trump was a recognition that an Israeli-Palestinian deal doesn't need to simply be between Israel and the Palestinian Authority. After all, Israel has better relations now than it ever has with Saudi Arabia, with Kuwait, with Egypt, with Morocco, with the United Arab Emirates, and so forth. And so what Donald Trump was basically saying is you can make a deal now and you have more wiggle room. We have more wiggle room to be creative because there's much more of the scope is going to be much larger.
Yeah, I would have just said, per the clip of Bibi that we played talking about the two-state solution in response to that reporter's question, I would have said, hey, I agree with what he said. Keep it simple. I want to get your temperature on this. Brett Stevens, writing the Wall Street Journal the other day, offering some Mideastern political rules for Jared Kushner. One of the rules he offered was the George Shultz rule. Ronald Reagan, Secretary of State, held to a clear principle when it came to negotiating with tough adversaries. Establish a reasonable position, announce your bottom line, stick to it, no haggling. It proved effective in dealing with Soviet arms negotiators, for example. And it seems to me that's Benjamin Netanyahu. What Benjamin Netanyahu has done is adopt the Shultz rule. Do you agree with that strategic approach that would make sense for Kushner to take as the front man for Trump?
I absolutely do agree with it. You know, oftentimes we hear in political rhetoric in Washington, in Europe, and elsewhere that the United States needs to be an even broker, and that implies that we have to come straight down in the middle. And that may sound good for people who have graduated from peace studies programs, but in reality what it does is it encourages both sides to stake out much more extreme positions, because if they know the United States is always going to be in the middle, well, let's shift to the more extreme and force the United States to force the middle to shift. What Bret Stephens, what Ronald Reagan, what I think Jared Kushner understand is that this simply isn't going to happen. And, for all the cynicism that surrounds Jared Kushner, oh, he's Donald Trump's son-in-law, it's nepotism and so forth, he's probably the one person in the administration who really has been punching above his weight, not only on Israel but on Mexico, the other portfolio he has. He really has surprised a lot of people in a positive way.
Really?
Now, I got to get your take on this Wall Street Journal story that was mentioned in Mike Scott's newscast at the bottom of the hour. The story, spies keeping intelligence from Trump because they're concerned about leaks. With the Flynn saga and now this story and the tense relationship has been widely reported between at least elements of the intelligence community and President Trump. Do we have a real kind of internal revolt, enemies inside the perimeter problem for the Trump administration with respect to CIA, for example?
Well, absolutely we do, and it will be interesting to see whether Mike Pompeo, the director of Central Intelligence, can get this under control. But let's face it, whether or not the spies like Donald Trump, whether or not I like Donald Trump, he's been elected president, and their job is to serve him. If there's an illegal leak of this sort of information, that can go to the Congress has oversight ability. That could become a political scandal, but it's not for individual spies to make that call. I'm reminded of a statement that was published in 2005, just to the point that this is nothing new, where the former DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency, Middle East chief, was bragging that the spies were purposely leaking to undermine George W. Bush's reelection. That was never investigated. This is a huge cultural problem within the intelligence community.
Well, do you think it will be investigated if these spies are keeping information from the President Trump?
Well, absolutely. Former federal prosecutor Andy McCarthy, who is a columnist at National Review Online, had a piece yesterday in which he argued, we should just expose the transcript of the FBI transcript of the phone call between Michael Flynn and the Russian ambassador. If there's nothing there, then we know that the intelligence community should be the ones in the hot seat, because this wasn't a whistleblower leak, a one-time thing. This seemed designed to feed the press frenzy, and that's just outright wrong.
I wanted to also get your reaction to Judicial Watch, which had been the shadow attorney general until the installment of Trump as president, now Sessions as attorney general, got more Benghazi-related emails that, frankly, make it pretty clear, in case it wasn't at this point, that the attack on the compound in Benghazi was a direct breaching attack. It was not a protest that metastasized into attack. It was not an attack under the cover of a protest. This exchange between Patrick Kennedy at the State Department and other staffers, pretty damning. Does it mean anything at this point?
Well, at this point, unfortunately, national security has become such a political football that you would have in this case, Hillary Clinton was clearly wrong, but you're going to have Democrats still rally around her. I mean, she could say the earth was flat, and you could have Democrats rally around her. At the same time, when it comes to what's going on now with regard to Michael Flynn and the Russians, Senator Rand Paul yesterday said, Republicans shouldn't waste time investigating their own party. I think that's flat out wrong. It's the job of the Congress to provide oversight, and if there's an investigation and shows there's no wrongdoing, well, fine, but we shouldn't be afraid of transparency.
All right. He is Michael Rubin, resident scholar at the American Enterprise Institute. You should check out his work at AEI as well as his previous books he's authored, including Dancing with the Devil and Kurdistan Rising. Michael, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Thanks, Amy.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, is our next gen up? Because this is Benjamin Netanyahu's talking about Jared Kushner. Kush.
Our alliance has been remarkably strong. But under your leadership, I'm confident it will get even stronger.
Oh, that wasn't it. Oh, too bad. Maybe we'll have it for you later. Here's your forecast for today. Mild with clouds and a breaks of sunshine, high of 42 degrees. But the real news is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We're going to have a string of days, record-breaking setting heat around here, that's for sure. Tomorrow, a high of 60 degrees. Let's go into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, where I hope things are working well. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Trying, Amy, in Palos Hills. Got delays on northbound LaGrange Road from 107th to just before 95th. There's a left lane closure due to a crash there. Northwest side of Chicago, there's congestion, heavy police presence. Southbound Pulaski, north of Belmont, the right lane's blocked. This is police investigation into a shooting in that area. Melrose is blocked off in Pulaski and Karloff. Edens is 26 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 21. Kennedy, 36 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 25. Crash just reported outbound at Ohio. The Eisenhower, 42 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound 34. Stevenson, 50 minutes. 3:55 to the Drive, outbound 35. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. The northbound Tri-State has the usual delays. Veterans Memorial, a little slow. Army Trail to 290. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. The Trump administration looking for a new nominee to be labor secretary. Retail sales move higher. Unemployment figures set for release today. Those stories next.
2017 is the year of Trump, and markets are rising to all-time highs. But economic uncertainty may be greater than after any election in our lifetime. And as retirement approaches, there's little time to recover losses. You need to hedge against uncertainty. That means transferring part of your retirement to physical gold and silver, stored where you can actually hold it in your hands and get it fast in any disaster. It's the perfect time to buy. Prices are low and expected to climb. Make Augusta Precious Metals your personal gold and silver provider. Augusta cares for your financial position and helps you make good decisions. And they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Get Augusta's free gold and silver IRA guide. What you learn could help you weather any economic storm. No obligation. Just call 855-222-6993. That's 855-222-6993. 855-222-6993. Trust Augusta. Protect your retirement today.
Washington abuzz as President Trump's choice to be labor secretary withdrew his name yesterday. Andrew Puzder, the fast food CEO whose TV commercials were branded sexist by some Democrats and whose housekeeper was an illegal, troubled a half-dozen Republicans in the Senate and led the administration to withdraw his name, the president looking for a new nominee. And economic reports today, weekly jobless claims, an update on January's housing starts, and the weekly mortgage interest rates from Freddie Mac. Retail sales rose in January, Americans boosting their collective spending in restaurants and at gas stations, even as car sales fell. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern, on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
No more excuses, gentlemen. It's a new year, and you need to stop putting things off, especially when it comes to taking care of your health. Dan Proft here. I know we all hate going to the doctor. That's why Low T Center makes it quick and easy to get your testosterone levels checked. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you get your results back in about 20 minutes. So if you're drinking coffee or energy drinks just to get you through the day, or if you feel like you always need a nap, you may have low T. Low T levels can make you feel tired and grumpy, raise your cholesterol, even cause weight gain. That's why I personally recommend going to my friends at Low T Center. They accept most health insurance, are in-network for most providers, FDA-approved products, and they have flexible hours, including Saturday, so don't hesitate to find out what your number is this new year. I'm glad I did. Call my friends at Low T Center and tell them Dan Proft sent you. That's me, 630-409-4305. 630-409-4305 is the number. Call Low T Center at 630-409-4305 or visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
Hiring is the most challenging part of my job.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. One click and my job was posted to 200 plus job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 200 plus job sites. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/start now. That's ZipRecruiter.com/start now.
Check out the ammo event this weekend at Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. All ammo will be on sale, including 9mm starting at $10.99. Save up to 30% on a great selection of brand name ammo this Friday through Monday. Point Blank Range and Gun Shop offers a state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, an extensive inventory of firearms, and a supportive, knowledgeable team. The ammo event is this weekend at Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. Visit shootpointblank.com for details. Some restrictions may apply.
If you've never been to a coin show, here's your chance to find out what collectors and investors have known for years. It's fun, full of history, and it can be a great investment. Make plans to attend the Greater Chicago Coin, Currency, and Collectible Show. It's one of the largest in the nation, and it's free. The show is at the Tinley Park Convention Center, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, February 23rd through 25th. Admission and parking is free. Just bring your photo ID. Hundreds of dealers, the best coin dealers from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars, U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and a lot more. Friday at 5, Fox Valley Coins will hold a rare coin auction. This is a show for the whole family, collectors, investors, or if you just want to find out more about coins, currency, and collectibles. This show is a can't miss. The Greater Chicago Coin, Currency, and Collectible Show, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, February 23rd through the 25th at the Tinley Park Convention Center. Admission and parking is free with your photo ID. Get more information at chicagocoinshow.com. That's chicagocoinshow.com.
Oh, I love talking about 4-packs. And check this out. Once again, MyPillow sweetened the deal in addition to Mike Lindell's 4-pack special with 40% off, 2 premium MyPillows plus 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows. You also get free shipping. In fact, you'll get free shipping off any order over $100. Remember, Mike Lindell invented MyPillow for everybody with pillow-related sleep issues. You can move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need regardless of sleep position. You'll get into deep sleep faster and stay there longer. No waking up to a stiff neck or headache. It's made in the USA, and it has a 10-year warranty. It's washable, dryable, with a 60-day money-back guarantee. Again, for a limited time, you'll receive Mike Lindell's 4-pack special with 40% off plus free shipping. So call 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy to receive this unreal deal. Now, if you've been putting off purchasing a MyPillow, well, it's time to finally start getting a great night's sleep. I know I do. Shouldn't you? Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use the promo code Amy.
Fruits and vegetables are one of the very best, if not the best way to help protect your body from many of the lifestyle diseases plaguing our nation. Eating over 10 servings of fruits and vegetables daily will help build your immune system to over 720% and is the single most important thing you can do for your health, along with diet and exercise. Why are fruits and vegetables such a powerful health consideration? Because they contain tens of thousands of phytonutrients prepared especially by Mother Nature to nourish our body on a cellular level. Dr. Howard successfully formulated and perfected a mix of 31 different fruits and vegetables and scientifically removed the water and air through a proprietary cold vacuum system, reducing them into a super powder which maintains 99.9% of its nutrient value, then packaging them into vegetarian capsules ready for consumption. Here's Dr. Howard.
What does good nutrition not benefit? Can you name anything that good nutrition will not help? It's not a cure-all. The scope of what it can help is so wide because our bodies are really fabulous, amazing chemical laboratories. Everything that functions in your system is a chemical response. Keeping that chemistry in balance and keeping the cells communicating with each other the very best possible way is absolutely the best way to reduce your risk of disease and also help your body help itself even fighting most of these diseases.
Balance of Nature is celebrating its 20th anniversary by providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, today's a day without immigrants, from doctors to dishwashers. How will it affect you? We'll explain.
And one actor suggests that the Oscars allow all refugees in for the ceremony.
Really?
We'll have that at 7:07.
I don't know if there'll be enough seats. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, the president returns to Chicago for the first time since leaving the White House. 3 killed, 2 critically wounded in a Southwest Side shooting. A 12-year-old girl dies from a weekend shooting in Chicago. WIND Chicago News Time, 7.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. President Trump vows to find the leakers within his government. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the president tweeted the spotlight has finally been put on the low-life leakers. They will be caught, referring to a New York Times article that claimed former campaign aides had contact with Russian intelligence officials during the 2016 election. The president also tweeted, leaking and even illegal classified leaking has been a problem in Washington for years. Failing at New York Times and others must apologize. Leading Republicans in Congress are asking the Justice Department's Inspector General to investigate the leaks. Dave.
Rachel, President Trump's expected to name Robert Harward, a retired Navy vice admiral, as new national security advisor, while Democrats and Republicans want more information about Michael Flynn's resignation, asking for transcripts of Flynn's talks with Russia's ambassador back in December. Democrats want an independent investigation.
Attorney General Sessions must recuse himself immediately.
That's Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. The California man accused of buying the rifles used in the San Bernardino terror attack expected to plead guilty today. The couple that murdered 14 people in 2015 was killed in a police gun battle hours later. Whether they are here legally or not, immigrants across America are being urged to take a stand today. Fox's Tanya J. Powers explains live.
It's being called a day without immigrants, and organizers say the purpose is to show how critical they are to the U.S. economy. They're urging immigrants not to attend work, to open their business, or to spend money or even send their kids to school. The move is a response to President Trump's new immigration policies. Those behind the Day Without Immigrants say actions are planned in cities including New York, Washington, Austin, Texas, and Philadelphia, Dave.
Tanya, a Mexican woman is taking refuge inside a Denver church after immigration authorities denied her request to stay in the U.S. Jeanette Vizquera was convicted of 2 misdemeanors, and a judge ordered her deported 6 years ago. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
26 degrees, cloudy skies, 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A 13-year-old girl is dead after an SUV being chased by police slammed into her vehicle being driven by her grandmother in Hammond, Indiana. Authorities say Juliana Chambers was killed when a Dodge Durango that was speeding away from police slammed into a Chevy Equinox near Gosselin and Columbia Avenue. The victim's grandmother, who was driving the Chevy Equinox, is hospitalized in critical condition. The driver of that SUV, fleeing police, was arrested and charges are pending. Governor Rauner setting some budget parameters, he believes, but leaving out a lot of details when it comes to a state budget. AM 560's David Stewart on the latest in Springfield.
In his budget address, Governor Rauner said he'd consider an income tax hike if there's a property tax freeze. He'd support expanding sales taxes, but not to food and medicine, and no taxes on pensions. He wants reforms like pension changes, workers' comp reform, and a referendum on term limits.
This is now a question of political will. I know I'm willing. I hope you are too.
But House Budget Negotiator Greg Harris wants to see more.
We want to see a complete proposal and evaluate it in its entirety,
including Rauner's revenue ideas. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Police are questioning a person of interest following this morning's possible shooting on the Dan Ryan Expressway near 63rd. 3 men are dead, 2 others in critical condition. Following a shooting on Chicago's southwest side near Pershing and Albany, no arrests have been made. Authorities say 2 bodies found Tuesday near a northern Indiana creek are those of 2 teen girls who went missing while hiking. State Police Sergeant Kim Riley said Wednesday autopsies determined the bodies are those of 14-year-old Liberty German and 13-year-old Abigail Williams.
The bodies have been positively identified as Abigail J. Williams, 13, of the Delphi area, and Liberty Rose Lynn German, 14, of the Delphi area.
The deaths being investigated as homicides. A Minneapolis man shot by Amtrak police near Union Station has died. Chicago police say 25-year-old Chad Robertson died Wednesday. He was only hit in the shoulder by the transit officer, but later fell into more ill health. The officer fired twice, striking Robertson once in the left shoulder. The wounded man was found with cash and narcotics, but was unarmed. 4 Chicago restaurants owned by celebrity chef Rick Bayless will be closed today, he says, in a show of support for immigrant workers. Bayless making that announcement on Facebook. Workers at a Boeing plant in South Carolina have rejected efforts to unionize in a landslide. National Labor Relations Board on Wednesday releasing results of the vote. Nearly 3,000 production workers eligible to vote in the balloting at the Chicago-based aviation giant's North Charleston facilities. Only a few hundred voted in favor. Bulls clash with the Celtics at the UC later tonight. Last night in college hoops, number 24 Maryland knocked off Northwestern in the Big Ten 74-64. The news, a service of accountants. They know that your business needs can change in an instant. From increased workload to staff absences, accountants can help by providing accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis. Call today. Accountants, a Robert Half company. 7:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Do you own or run a business in Illinois that succeeded in this challenging economic environment? If so, we want to hear about it. AM 560's Business Tour 2017, presented by Signature Bank, will be highlighting business success stories. Tell us your story and be a part of a live broadcast of Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy. Find out more and submit your information at 560theanswer.com/business. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
Men, if you're like me, you appreciate the feeling of a smooth, clean shave, but you're tired of paying $32 for new blades. Stop messing around with those generic razors and start shaving with Harry's for half the price. Harry's is so confident in the quality of their blades, they'll send you their most popular shave set, shaving cream, and post-shave balm for free when you cover shipping, a total value of $20. Just go to harrys.com now and enter code 0808 at checkout to redeem your shave set. That's harrys.com, code 0808.
Hiring is the most challenging part of my job.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. One click and my job was posted to 200 plus job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 200 plus job sites. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer.
Let's get a check of our roads. Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center time. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On Chicago's northwest side, there's been a shooting in the area near Belmont and Pulaski. There's a right lane closure on southbound Pulaski. North Riverside, the intersection of Cermak and Harlem is closed entirely right now due to a crash. Edens is 24 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 22. Inbound Kennedy, 42 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 31, with a crash in Ohio blocking 3 left lanes. Not Eisenhower, 49 minutes. Thorndale to the loop, outbound 34. Stevenson, 52 minutes. 355 to the drive, outbound 36. The Ryan, 30 minutes. 95th to downtown. Lakeshore Drive, southbound to Irving Park to Belmont, and 18th to the Stevenson, where there's a crash in the right lane. Northbound from 31st to the Stevenson, and there's a crash northbound at Belmont. Northbound Tri-State delays, 95th to the 83rd Street toll. 47th to Ogden, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Northbound Veterans Memorial, a little slow approaching the Reagan Tollway, and heavy from Army Trail to 290. Northwest Indiana's fine. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
A milder day today with clouds and breaks of sun. High 42. Tonight, patchy clouds, low 32. Tomorrow, a full day of sunshine, high 59, and a low tomorrow night, 42. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
30 at O'Hare and along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by MJ Miller & Company Jewelers, the gift-giving experts. Visit MJ Miller at 123 West Main Street in downtown Barrington.
Good morning. Welcome to your Thursday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Just how much of a conversation did General Flynn have about Russian sanctions with the Russian ambassador? How much could he have possibly forgotten?
Michael Flynn, General Flynn, is a wonderful man. I think he's been treated very, very unfairly by the media, as I call it, the fake media in many cases.
Our alliance has been remarkably strong, but under your leadership, I'm confident it will get even stronger.
But we can't tax our way to prosperity, nor can we just cut our way to a better future.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So the protests and the demonstrations and the self-indulgence continues. Today's installment, Day Without Immigrants.
Yeah, that's it. It started on social media a few days ago, and they're asking people who came to this country as immigrants, whether they're here legally or legally.
Because there's no difference.
They're asking them, no difference. They're asking them not to go to work today. And it's taking places in cities, I should say, such as Washington, D.C., which they say is going to hit the hardest because 14 restaurants are closing. Ooh, that's it.
Right.
But they're also asking kids not to go to school. They're asking people who are here legally and illegally, who are immigrants, to not spend any money today.
So are you skipping work, school, your radio show? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636DA, turnkey.pro, text line. How are you celebrating?
What are you celebrating?
A Day Without Immigrants.
Well, they're doing this, of course, because of Trump's travel ban or extreme vetting implementation. That's why they're doing this.
There's a travel ban on legal immigrants that are United States citizens?
Rick Bayless is shutting down Frontera Grill, Topolobambo, or Bombo. Yeah, Bombo. It's some other thing, XOCO, and Fonda Frontera Grill. So he's seriously going to lose tens of thousands of dollars today. Mm-hmm. But he says, out of respect for our staff's vote to support Thursday's immigrant civil action, we are closing those restaurants.
Okay.
There's a woman in...
I suppose if for those closing their restaurants, it may be a good tip-off to ICE in terms of locations you may want to stop by when they resume business tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Here's a store owner in Aurora. She's had a family-owned business. Her family owns 4 different businesses, liquor stores, convenience shops. They're shutting down today.
I think it's so exciting that Rick is joining all of us in this movement, but also just how special it is that the small business owners who really depend on the income from every single day in their sales to pay their employees, to be taking a stance along with their employees and saying, we're not going to open.
How is that good for business? So you're paying your employees to stay home and you're shutting down your business.
I mean, you could also do like.
How is that economically sound?
Yeah, if I was an employee, I respect your right to protest. I respect your opinion on the issue, and we're gonna miss you.
I wonder how many kids at CPS are staying home today. Because
the same number that stay home every day. And oh, by the way, the larger question is for the kids staying home from CPS. Are they getting any less of an education by staying home than they do by going to school?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. Actually, Dan, I have to leave now because out of respect, I'm an immigrant, so I'm going to have to leave.
When did you land? Yeah. When did you land here?
No, I'm second generation American. I can stay. Okay?
All right.
But I thought it'd be fun to have half the show walk out, for Immigration Day, even though.
Solidarity, sister.
I'm a dreamer in a different kind of way.
By the way, Denmark, my motherland.
Oh, yes.
Sort of, half.
So you think.
That's
no, you do.
Told.
I think you know more about your heritage than you're letting on. I think you know who you're, forget it. We'll explore that.
A descendant
later.
of Danish royalty, I'll have you know.
Oh, I'm working with a Danish princess.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
I didn't know.
So show a little frackin'. The Danish parliament passed a declaration that says no residential areas in the country should have an immigrant majority population.
Oh. Are they trying to get free zones? No-go zones?
Parliament notes with concern that today there are areas in Denmark where the number of immigrants from non-Western countries and their descendants is above 50%. It is Parliament's opinion that Danes should not be a minority in residential areas in Denmark.
Oh.
How about that?
They want to stop what's already going on in Sweden and...
Well, because, we're always supposed to look to the grand multicultural experiment in Europe and how well that's working. What about that? Where are we going to have a protest outside the Danish embassy in D.C. after this resolution was
it's a safety
passed by the
issue.
ruling party?
Because once they congregate and they have their own communities, then they have their own Sharia law. Look at Malmo, Sweden. It's disgusting. They even Facebook Lived Muslims raping a Swedish woman in that neighborhood.
What about that? Boy, how would that be received here? Since we look to Europe, if there was a a resolution that designating the percentage of a particular neighborhood in terms of indigenous population versus non-Western immigrants and their descendants. Related story, Robert Davey, he's an actor. You know Robert Davey. He was in, he played the Bond villain, License to Kill.
Oh, yeah.
Timothy Dalton, his ignominious run as James Bond.
Good-looking guy, easy on the eyes. Yeah.
Who? Not Robert Davey.
Well, he's not that bad. I like him.
You like him pockmarked. I forgot about the Edward James Olmos thing. You like him old and
I
pockmarked.
like the message they send when I touch their face.
Yeah,
the
it's like-
braille signals I'm getting.
Whew. All right. Robert Davey has a message for his Hollywood brethren. Walk the walk. Let's invite all the refugees into the Oscars award ceremony, and if you don't do that, you're a bigot. Mr. Davey writes an open letter. I propose that Meryl Streep, Chelsea Handler, Richard Gere, Bobby De Niro, Christopher Waltz, and others lead an Oscar first. Let's do away with the rules, barriers, and tickets to the Oscars and after parties, such as the swanky Vanity Fair party or the Weinstein star-studded affair. I ask all migrants, all illegal immigrant criminals, and all unvetted refugees to converge on Hollywood to come to the Oscars and all the after parties, even those held at the mansions or the Chateau Marmont or anywhere else. After all, we in the Hollywood community want to show all Islamic extremists that we have love in our hearts. And what better way to do that than by inviting them along on our most important night? What about that idea? I love that idea.
Good idea.
Be the change you wish to see in the world, Hollywood celebrities. And that includes Matt Damon, who, while promoting his movie
The Great
about
Wall.
a wall,
Yeah.
well, it's fantastical, but no, nevertheless, it is called The Great Wall. He had this to say.
I'm not a believer in walls. I believe that history belongs to the cooperators. And nor am I of a mind that, Mexico is going to pay for our infrastructure any more than we're going to pay for their highways. You know what I mean? That's just not going to happen. But that's where we are, and we'll see, kind of how it all plays out. Hopefully the people of Mexico understand that the people of our country, the majority of them don't believe that we should be putting any walls up.
Matt Damon. Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's it's another classic case guy. He's a very good actor. I've enjoyed many of his movies. But, when it comes to public policy and politics, he's a mope.
Just don't talk.
Doesn't know what he's talking about.
Talk. Hey, text message from the Amish texter. Now, this day without immigrants, does that mean they're also refusing any government funding too?
Let's not get crazy. Eric in Romeoville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I wish every day was no immigrant day because traffic on the Stevens is awesome. There's no wreck.
Oh, that's the call.
So rude.
Janet on the northwest side. Hi, Janet.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, yes. I've been home with the flu 2.5 days. I am a legal immigrant. And I was out of touch. Didn't know about this thing. I'm going back to work today because, hey, I got to make a living. I got bills to pay. So my celebration is by going back to work today.
Okay.
I hope you feel better,
call,
Janet. Take it easy. Drink lots of fluids.
Well,
It's always rough your first day back from the flu.
That's great advice, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am the mom of the show. Thank you.
John in McHenry.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great show as always.
Thanks.
I'm going to go to work today to make sure that I can help pay the welfare for the illegal immigrants. So
Yeah.
I'll work a little bit harder today just for that.
There you go. Now that's the spirit. That's the can-do American spirit, John. Way to go. Dave in Algonquin.
Yeah, this is Dave from Algonquin. I'm just, I'm a proud American. I'm going to work today. I'm on my way into work. And I just figure, the ones that don't show up for work today, they won't have a job tomorrow. Just like what's happening in the Senate. They just need to do their jobs that they're appointed to.
All right. Yeah.
Well,
Thanks
some
for the call, Dave.
employers who've decided to participate in this Day Without Immigrants are going to pay them, even though they're sitting home.
And Dave, for those who work for Dave from Algonquin, he's going a different path.
Yes.
Not only you're not going to get paid, you could
You're gonna lose your JOB.
celebrate the confusion between legal and illegal immigrants for the rest of your days. George and Moni.
Hey, is it also no uninsured motorist insurance day?
That's going to be a different protest day. Thanks for the call, George. Wait, no.
Wait, I wonder if anyone is going to lose their job. By not
No
showing up today.
uninsured. Wait.
No uninsured
motorist
day.
Oh, because
meaning a lot of people who are here illegally do not have
Yeah.
insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Shocker. I've had my car hit twice by people here illegally who didn't have insurance, Dan. Shocker.
Dennis and Crystal Lake.
Hey, since my
you.
BFF Amy pushed that one movie about illegal immigrants, 24 hours. Let's make the rule that all these illegal immigrants cannot use anything a white man invented to go to these rallies. No cars, no cell phones, no computers, no nothing. Let's see if the world shuts down then, Amy.
Ooh, Thanks for the call,
I think there's a little animosity there between Dennis and I. I was that broad at the bar that didn't respect that he made six figures. Huh? There is a rally today, by the way, at 11 a.m. at Union Park.
Oh,
where they're going to be speaking out against deportations.
Okay.
I need to get a job.
Oh, so racist. Sean in Elmwood Park.
Look out, Amy. You've got the inbred Aryan nation upset at you. But listen, we already have a system. We already have a system where people sit home and get paid not to work, and businesses lock their door. It's called state, city, and municipal workers. You want to talk about a scam? And I have to drive all day long, so I am truly looking forward to the no Chevy Blazers with the oversized wheels and that circus polka music going on. I hope they all stay home. But I wanted to ask you something about this Flynn thing, Prof, because I was listening earlier, and there was something that I caught my attention.
This guy can't stay on topic. He's got the attention span of a circus monkey.
How did they get the phone call, Prof? NSA? How did they get the phone call? Where's the court order that allowed you to tap this guy's phone? What did he do where he was under surveillance? I'm curious. How do they have a phone call with him?
You know, FISA courts issue warrants to eavesdrop on foreign nationals like a Russian ambassador. That's fairly customary. The issue is how was that leaked, particularly without redacting the Michael Flynn's participation, because that's the minimization procedures that they go through is normally how that's done. So that's a legitimate issue that we've raised the last couple of days, actually.
Do they have to release the warrant? I don't know why.
There's a call to release the warrant, and not only that, to release the transcripts of the phone conversation or the audio, and redact anything that poses a national security risk. But yes, that's exactly what we've called to do.
We're being surveilled, is my opinion. We're being constantly surveilled.
Well, you are.
The
and
Russian
that's,
ambassador should know that he's always being
Sean,
he's always under surveillance.
You are being surveilled, and everybody sleeps a little bit sounder at night knowing that. Thanks for the call, Sean from Elmwood Park.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Today it's going to be mild with clouds, some sun, a high of 42 degrees. Tonight, patchy clouds, a low of 32. And for Friday, just a glorious day. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures approaching the record of 60 degrees, which was set back in the birth year of one Daniel Proft, 1880. We're going to have a high tomorrow of 60.
I was an advance man for the Garfield administration.
Let's get the travel times. Are they high? Are they low? Let's get the truth in our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy. It depends on where you are. There's some heavy congestion on the northwest side around Belmont and Pulaski after a shooting. There's a very heavy police presence there. In North Riverside, the intersection of Cermak and Harlem has reopened after a crash. The Edens is just 21 minutes like Cook to Montrose and outbound 23. Kennedy, 48 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 30. The Eisenhower, 55 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 33. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 35. The Ryan, 34 minutes, 95 to downtown. A crash on the Kennedy at Ohio just cleared. On Lakeshore Drive, it's heavy southbound from Montrose to Fullerton and 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound from Marquette to Hayes, it's slow. And then approaching the Stevenson as well. Northbound Tri-State, slow Archer to LaGrange Road. From the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. The other tollways are a little lighter than normal. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Raj Shah, host of Secure Retirement Radio, Chicago's safe money specialist.
We are going to manage a portfolio to the extent where every single month you know and you feel confident that no matter what market it is, that you don't need to play the guessing game and time the market, because it's not timing the market, it's time in the market.
Tune in for Secure Retirement Radio with Raj Shah, Chicago's safe money specialist. Sunday mornings at 7 here on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't let yesterday's accomplishments affect today. Use Blue Emu, available in stores nationwide.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had a lot of credit card debt, and I couldn't pay my bills, so I reached out and contacted Trinity.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
They were able to work with my creditors. I've been able to pay off $15,000 in 18 months. It's a godsend.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
Dennis Prager here for the amazing Relief Factor, the natural solution for people struggling on and on with chronic pain like back, neck, shoulder, hip, knee, or general muscle aches and pains. My wife Sue and I are both very happy customers. I was skeptical at first, and I have never before endorsed a pain reliever. I do now. So if you're in pain, go to ReliefFactor.com. Check it all out at ReliefFactor.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, and I help business owners, 1099 employees, and those with unfiled tax returns solve their IRS problems. And I'm also the host of the IRS Radio Hour.
And I'm Jim Leahy, the co-host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here every Sunday evening at 5 on AM 560,
The Answer. I know you want a local attorney you can look in the eye and hold accountable for solving your IRS problem, not some big box outfit without a Chicago connection. So today we have a special offer. A good night's sleep.
A good night's sleep? Are you trying to give away a pillow?
Great guess, Jim. But no, I want to help people solve the problems that are keeping them up at night. If you fear the IRS will take away your money, freeze your bank account, garnish your wages, visit your home or job, and now they can take away your passport, you need to hire me to solve your IRS problem for good.
Call attorney Stephen Leahy, your Chicago IRS answer man at 312-664-6649, 312-664-6649, and get the IRS out of your business and your life for good.
AM 560, The Answer.
Award-winning comedian and talk show host Dennis Miller will be performing live at the Genesee Theater in Waukegan on Thursday, March 23rd. To register to win tickets, download the AM 560 The Answer mobile app and click on the Dennis Miller banner. Don't forget, keep checking the app, and we will be giving away a new prize every month. But again, Dennis Miller, I love that guy. Have you ever seen him perform live?
No, I've seen all the specials, but I don't think I've never seen him live.
He's really good live. So go to Waukegan Theater.
Yeah, okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay,
the Genesee Theater.
Hey, thanks.
I got big news here. American Girls got a new doll. Dolly.
Is it a Swedish one or a Nordic one?
It's a dude.
What?
American Girls' new doll is a dude.
No, it's not. Don't tell me he's transgender. Or just a plain boy doll.
His name is Logan. And he is...
Is he wearing a pea hat?
Here's the...
Is he carrying a Lululemon bag?
Here's the backstory on Logan, the new American Girl doll.
Oh, that's awful for kids named Logan, but go on.
He is a ballerina that graduates from Sarah Lawrence University and goes on to be mayor of Chicago.
Oh, the Rom doll? Mm-hmm. No, tell me about Logan. What is his? Does he have an easy bake oven?
He's... I don't know.
Let me see. I go to the
He's like a hipster doofus.
Oh my! He's wearing a plaid shirt. He looks like he works for a tech company. He sells cloud storage or something.
He plays the drums in his friend Tenny Grant's band. Who's Tenny Grant? Is that another doll?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what he does.
So then, are they going to change the name from American Girl Store to American Doll Store?
No, because Logan is going to get gender reassignment surgery next year. So they're just setting that up.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families. But I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, Cindy Potts. Cindy Potts. Thank you for listening to AM 560, The Answer. Cindy Potts. Thanks for making Chicago's Morning Answer and AM 560 part of your day.
Thanks, Cindy. Real quick, Gil in Crestwood, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Hey, Gil.
Hello?
Hey, Gil, you're on.
Hey, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
But you know what? I usually listen to your programming most of the day, and I really, really like it. And like I told the guy on the phone, I'm a second-generation Hispanic Mexican. My parents came from Mexico, and I've been here my whole life. I served for the U.S. Army, and I'm proud to be an American. And I really, I'm with you guys all the way. But the last 15 minutes of stuff I heard on the radio, that's the reason why someone like me would get pushed the other way. Because I heard people talking with accents. We need a job. And guys with oversight.
I'm sorry, Gil. I am so sorry. You know what, Gil?
That's my co-host.
Gil, I am so sorry. Did not mean to.
You know, but believe me, I'm with you guys all the way.
I understand.
I got a little loosey-goosey. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, here's one thing, Gil, and I mean, I take your point and I appreciate it, but doesn't everybody need to lighten up a little bit and be able to be made fun of? I mean, the people we talk about the Irish being drunks and make fun of this group for that. I just wish everybody lighten up. It's like we're looking to be offended, and nobody dislikes Latinos.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
You know what, sir? I agree with you 100%, but that's not what I heard the last 15 minutes on the radio.
Right.
Yeah, I think
I'm sorry. I love Latinos too. I have two.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not what I heard the last 15 minutes. You know what? I can call up and say, there may be illegal Hispanics, whatever, but I know a big majority of the welfare, it does fall on white Americans.
No
areas.
question.
And you know
no
what?
question.
But to me, I'm not going to make fun of it because, I really want my point to get across because I try to tell my friends we're Hispanic, and believe me, they're against me all the way. And if I had someone in the car with me with the radio, they would listen to this and they would look at me like I'm some kind of fool, and they would see, we told you.
All right, thanks.
Sorry, Gil.
Gil, appreciate it, and thanks for the call and the perspective. Appreciate it. Now let's get some headlines with Mike Scott.
31 in clouds, and the new Secretary of State, a busy day, coming face-to-face with his Russian counterpart, Rex Tillerson, scheduled to meet with Russian Foreign Ministry Executive Sergei Lavrov in Germany. That is where the G20 summit is taking place. Businesses in a number of major U.S. cities are closed today, part of a nationwide day called A Day Without Immigrants. Organizers are calling on immigrants, whether they are legal or not, to stay home. Yahoo reporting another major security breach. It says hackers use forged cookies to log on to user accounts without passwords. Phoenix, Arizona will not become a sanctuary city. The city council last night turning down a petition to adopt sanctuary status for immigrants. Police are questioning a person of interest following a possible shooting on the Dan Ryan Expressway on Chicago's south side early this morning. It happened between 59th and 63rd. 3 men are dead, 2 others in critical condition following a shooting on Chicago's southwest side. All 5 were shot yesterday near Pershing Road and Albany Avenue. Chicago sports, Bulls clash with the Celtics tonight. The news a service of Accountemps. Unplanned absences happen at every company, even when payroll is due. So when your payroll or accounting team is short-staffed, call Accountemps. They provide accounting and finance pros on a temporary or project basis and fast. Visit Accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 7:34, we'll have a check of traffic and weather coming up next on AM 560.
Come by Discount Tire this Friday and Saturday for incredible President's Day deals. Save up to $320 on select tire and wheel packages purchased with Discount Tire credit. Thank you, Discount Tire.
February is the month of love, and you're going to love the savings at Shrink Smoke and Gun. Now through February 22nd, all in stock ammo and reloading components are 20% off, so now is the time to stock up. Get to Shrink Smoke and Gun, where you'll find the largest selection of new, used, and consignment firearms in Lake County. And you'll avoid the Cook County firearm and ammo tax. For repairs, cleaning, and custom work, Shrinks has on-site gunsmithing at fair, reasonable rates. And cigar lovers, be sure to check out Shrink's extensive cigar selection. Don't wait. Hurry into Shrink Smoke and Gun for the best selection during the 20% off ammo sale now through February 22nd. Visit SmokeTheletterN.gun.org for information or call 847-662-4034. That's 847-662-4034 or online at SmokeTheletterN.gun.org. Shrink Smoke and Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964.
I'm worried that my employees are costing me a fortune every month in damaged or missing inventory. I'm not sure how to solve this problem or who to turn to.
Alarm Detection Systems installs video cameras that watch over your place of business, reduce loss, and increase profits with advanced security. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
I can't get the alarm company on the phone to save my life. My alarm's going off all the time, and I don't know why. It's driving me crazy.
Call Alarm Detection Systems. We have live reps answering our phones 24/7, 365. No auto attendant. Call 630-844-6300. Get better customer service in return. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com. Alarm license number 127000143.
7:36. Let's get a check of the roads this morning. Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Kennedy delays start at Harlem, 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 29 from Montrose, 24 in the Express. Outbound 29 to the airport. Edens, 21 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 25. The Ike, an hour and 2 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, 49 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 36 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 7 minutes. 3:55 to the drive. Outbound 35 minutes. Ryan is 35 minutes, 90-50 downtown. Northbound Tri-State. Heavy Archer to LaGrange Road. From the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway a bit tight. From past the Aurora Toll to before Florenceworth. Veterans Memorial. So 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. And from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Traffic service of LifeLock. Grabbing coffee or breakfast. If you swipe your card, you leave a trail of digital information thieves can use to steal your identity. Ever hear of LifeLock? Their U.S.-based team of specialists help resolve identity theft problems. Go to lifelock.com now. Use promo code RISK to save 10%. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Providing the right climate for business since 1935. A milder day ahead. Breaks of clouds and sun and a high of 42. Currently 30 at O'Hare. Next news at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella. Heard each and every Sunday at 8 a.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So is it a policy revolution in Springfield that is needed, or will structural tax increase in exchange for phony, fleeting reforms to continue the orderly going out of business sale for the state? Will that suffice? That was the question that was effectively put to Governor Rauner in deciding what he was going to say at yesterday's budget address. And his answer was the former.
But we can't tax our way to prosperity. It's not possible. Nor can we just cut our way to a better future. We must grow our way to the future that we want.
Yeah, bromides like that papered over the real takeaway from the budget address, which is income tax hike. which is support for something approximating the surrender that Christine Radogno tried to engineer in the Senate for Senate Republicans, with some different minor differences of opinion on things like the length of another Swiss cheese property tax freeze. By the way, on the issue of property taxes, since this has been sort of my wheelhouse over the last several weeks and will continue to be, the destruction of your home equity by predatory state government policy and local government policy. That's what this is, our property tax classification system in this state. Interesting research from the Illinois Policy Institute. Property tax, states that don't have an income tax, they have high property taxes, and how do you fund schools? Let me answer that question for people. There are 6 states that do not have an income tax. 7 states, actually. Forgot about New Hampshire. 7 states that do not have an income tax. Every single one of those states also has a lower property tax rate than Illinois as a percentage of home value. For example, Illinois is 80% higher than the national average. 2.25% of your home value is the average property tax rate in this state. And it's regressive, as we talked about with the analysis in South Suburban Cook County. These poorer, mostly minority communities like, say, Riverdale or Fort Heights that are 99% African American, and you buy a home for $10,000 and your property tax bill is $2,500.
Yeah.
This is theft. This is a government taking.
It's fraudulent behavior.
It's criminal. Mm-hmm. Not to mention the fraud of the equalized assessed valuation. Cook County telling you that home that you bought for $10,000 is worth $40,000 to jack your property taxes. Illinois, 2.25% of property value. Tennessee, 0.75%. Florida, 1.1%. Half of Illinois. Florida's bigger than Illinois.
Right.
Texas, 1.93%. Texas, 4 times the size of Illinois, even though it has fewer units of government. New Hampshire, 2.1. South Dakota, 1.3. Wyoming, 0.62. Nevada, 0.92. Washington State, a blue state, 1.08. Illinois, 2.25. And what does the governor propose? He proposes that we get in our DeLorean and go back back in time to the early 90s. He'll play the role of Jim Edgar, and we'll play the role of Republicans supporting tax hikes and pension ramps. All of the deals that he's essentially proposing in his budget address are the deals that got us to this point. So the happy talk is over, and Governor Rauner has apparently made his choice, and his choice is to be shaken up by Springfield rather than what was promised.
And did you see the Democratic lawmakers? I mean, they were mocking him. They were openly laughing at him, especially when he said this isn't about pointing fingers or assigning blame.
Yeah. It's
fun. They laughed, and then his teleprompter broke down, and he did make a joke, which was kind of funny. He said that Russian hacking caused this.
Yeah, it's fun times in Illinois. For more on the budget address, the implications, we're joined by Chris Kaergard. He's the political reporter at the Journal-Star in Peoria. He's also the guy that was growing a beard until we passed a state budget. And I think he looks like a member of ZZ Top, or he did until he decided that that was enough. Chris, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan and Amy. Good to be back.
So how does Rauner's budget address play in Peoria?
Well, there's a lot of people who honestly believe down here, and I think there's a valid point to it, that as long as you continue to have not only Rauner as governor, but equally importantly, Mike Madigan as speaker, there's not going to be progress no matter what anybody says, and no matter how long you drag this thing out. The two of them are really the largest impediment to it, with the speaker holding an added little bonus there for having been in office and knowing the wheels of power that can block any reforms day after day after year after year.
So, so just on Madigan. So even with Rauner supporting a tax increase, that's not going to be enough to get Madigan on board.
I truly think that Madigan is still going to try to stop anything that Rauner is pushing by way of reforms on workers' comp, certainly on term limits. Those are two of the ones that we heard yesterday, and Rauner is calling for moving things a little further along than what the Senate plan would call for. And reading between the lines on what he said yesterday, what he talked about when he came in to visit our editorial board, is that they're not quite where they need to be in the Senate on some of those reforms. It's still reform light. It just, as you were saying moments ago, still reform light as far as the real things that help drive economic change in Illinois. And one of those big ones is workers' comp reform.
So when it comes to the budget, though, what does Mike Madigan want?
He doesn't want one.
He just doesn't want one?
He wants to continue the way they're going. He I think would be willing to accept a much larger tax increase. But on the other hand, we did hear, or rather see from the governor yesterday, because let's be honest, he really didn't outline any budget numbers during the address. We had to wait for the budget book to come out. We saw that he was talking about increased spending in any number of areas yesterday, along with some token cuts on programs that certainly are not going to play well, whether that's autism, whether that's after-school programs for kids in poor neighborhoods in the city, that he's just going to get slammed on over and over and over again rather than talking about the central issues. We saw the governor was proposing increased spending for things at a time when Illinois certainly cannot handle spending any more money. He wants to spend more on MAP grants, a worthy program, absolutely, that helps encourage kids to go to school. But can Illinois really spend 10% more on that? He wants to spend more on education overall, another worthy goal, but it was not a budget address to be talking about spending more. I continue to talk to agencies, to talk to government entities that say, we can handle a cut, just tell us what that cut is going to be and let us be able to make plans for what those cuts are going to be, rather than keeping us in this continual uncertainty and partial budgets and discovering that funding isn't there after a partial budget is passed. Just let us know what the reality is and we'll adapt to it.
Here's what I took away from the speech. I found it completely devoid of vision. I found it to be poll-tested, stringing together of words that don't amount to a whole lot. I agree with you in principle on this budget deal in the Senate, but please don't extend the sales tax to food and medicine, and everybody claps. And I agree with you on an income tax increase, but we have to have a real property tax freeze that's longer than 2 years, or that's a real property tax freeze of some sort. The same language we've heard from governors, Democrat and Republican, for 3 decades, and we have the highest property taxes in the nation. I found it to be, frankly, one of two things: either negotiating his surrender, or believing, and maybe the two are complementary, believing that he is going to have to run as some kind of amalgam of Jim Edgar and Dick Durbin to win re-election in 2018.
The one thing I'm not entirely convinced of, given $10 billion in unpaid bills, as well as the existing deficit that's out there from year to year, plus the increased pension payment, I'm far from certain that anything can get us out of this without any kind of tax increase, though. The reality, Dan, Amy, is that Illinois has never seen more than $1 billion of natural revenue growth in a year. Mm-hmm. And any of these reforms are going to take some time to take hold and to begin to produce savings. You certainly can't count pension savings in the first year or two, because they're going to be litigated no matter what you do to them, and it's just magic money until then. In the short term, there's probably going to need to be some kind of tax increase just to balance the books.
So where do we go from here? What's next?
If history is any indication, the legislature is going to sit and effectively twiddle its thumbs for the next 3 to 4 months, and then start getting serious about planning a budget sometime around May. As far as the partial budget for the remainder of the year, the grand bargain the Senate is talking about, I think they'll continue to nibble around the edges, but I don't know that they're actually going to get anywhere near what even Rauner would settle for there, with some enhancements on the reforms they're already talking about.
Chris, before we let you go, it's a local issue for you. It's really a statewide issue and a national issue. The announcement by Caterpillar a couple weeks back that they're sending some of their C-suite execs up to the Chicago metro area and suspending some of the expansion projects that Caterpillar had planned. What does what's going on at Caterpillar mean for Peoria?
It's an absolute kick in the teeth for us. It's the beginning of the company turning out the lights here, and that's going to be a long, gradual transition. They've been doing it for years already, building new factories elsewhere rather than in Illinois. But this takes away all your major charitable contributors. It takes away the whole host of other things, and it tells the city that it is not valued.
He is Chris Kaergard, political reporter at the Journal-Star in Peoria and a former budget beard guy. Maybe you should start regrowing that or grow something else, Chris, to see if you can capture the imagination of the Illinois electorate. Chris, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Are you a Netflix cheater? We'll get to that later, but first, here's your forecast. Today, milder clouds right now, but we could have some breaks of sunshine by this afternoon, a high of 42 degrees. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday look spectacular for your President's Day weekend. Highs in the mid to low 60s on all 4 days. Now let's get to the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. There's still a heavy police presence on the northwest side of Chicago near Belmont and Pulaski after a shooting. Southbound Pulaski has a right lane blocked. There are some closures in the area. Willowbrook, crash on 83 at 75th. Eden's, 21 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound now 32. The Kennedy, 54 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 32 from Montrose, 28 in the Express. Outbound 28 to O'Hare. The Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 39 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes, 3:55 to the drive, outbound 35 minutes. The Ryan, 34 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State delays are northbound from the Stevenson to Ogden, from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, then from the O'Hare Oasis to the Adams Tollway. Veterans Memorial stop and go, 75th to the Reagan Tollway, and from the Army Trail Toll to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, you've got about a month left to book your trip to come with us, Joe Walsh, Dan Proft, to Punta Cana. That's where we're heading. So stop procrastinating and book that trip today. Why? Well, we're staying in a great place, the Secrets Cap Cana Resort and Spa in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic.
I hope they don't play that music over.
Oh, yeah, all the time. It's a brand new resort, brand spanking new, Dan. Go online and check it out for yourself. It's well-appointed rooms, excellent bedding, and 7 bars, 5 gourmet restaurants. Really, what's not to love? Oh, adults only, did I mention that? And there's also 24-hour room service for when you want to order a cheeseburger at midnight after a long day of drinking at the pool. So whether you want to sit by the pool and enjoy a cold drink and a cigar, or hit the beach and enjoy a little volleyball, there's something for everyone. Get more information and book your trip today. Visit 560theanswer.com, keyword passport. That's 560theanswer.com/passport. But hurry, time is running out to secure this exclusive price from our good friends over there at Apple Vacations.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm telling you right now, it's awesome. I was trying to get my blood pressure regulated, okay? And after 3 days of taking this thing, my blood pressure went back down to normal. I am ecstatic. I am so happy with this stuff. It is my savior.
This was the first summer that I have not had to have a steroid shot to help me to breathe.
The reason why I'm taking it because I've got Hep C. Once I began taking your stuff, it took a few months, but believe it or not, my liver enzymes are way down and it's normal now. It works.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life, but I should have ordered it like 15 years ago.
Last winter was pretty much a piece of cake, but this winter, we're told, is gonna be a doozy.
Well, the Farmer's Almanac forewarns that bitterly cold, if not downright frigid, numbing cold weather will be predominating over these parts this winter.
Not looking good, but you can be ready. Smart businesses rely on Air Comfort to keep them and their customers warm this expected frigid winter. Air Comfort is one of the largest commercial and industrial service groups in the Chicago area, with dedicated factory-trained technicians that take a scientific approach to analyzing your system. They have comprehensive year-round preventative maintenance programs and emergency service, plus design, build, and install equipment for new construction and retrofits of existing mechanical systems. Now is a great time to call Air Comfort and schedule an analysis of your company's mechanical system by their certified award-winning engineering team. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
Hey, running a business can be challenging, especially here in Illinois, and you face mountains of regulations on top of mountains of taxes and fees and tax hikes. So business owners who manage to survive and thrive deserve to be recognized. And that's exactly what we here at AM 560 The Answer are going to do. This spring, we're hitting the road on the AM 560 Business Tour presented by Signature Bank. It's a way for us to celebrate local businesses who are overcoming the odds and succeeding in spite of the many challenges they face. Think of it as making businesses great again. We want to give back to the business community by broadcasting this show live from various locations throughout the Chicagoland area. Does your business have a great success story? If so, then we want to hear about it. Here's what you do. Go to 560theanswer.com/business. Fill out the brief form to tell us about how you and your business are beating the odds to serve your clients and your community. We'll select several businesses as stops on our AM 560 Business Tour, and we'll broadcast from your location to share your success story with our audience. So go to 560theanswer.com/business to tell us your story. That's 560theanswer.com/business. And we may be stopping by your location this spring on the AM 560 Business Tour.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people, they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-518-4020. 800-518-4020. That's 800-518-4020.
Check out the ammo event this weekend at Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. All ammo will be on sale, including 9mm starting at $10.99. Save up to 30% on a great selection of brand name ammo this Friday through Monday. Point Blank Range and Gun Shop offers a state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, an extensive inventory of firearms, and a supportive, knowledgeable team. The ammo event is this weekend at Point Blank Range and Gun Shop. Visit shootpointblank.com for details. Some restrictions may apply.
Stop the runaround. Continental Audi of Naperville eases your mind on the car buying process. Straight talk deals, a VIP loyalty program, and concierge service loaners. It's the Continental difference. And right now, drive an Audi A4 lease for $399 a month, and we will make your first payment. Continental Audi of Naperville has over 25 Audi A4s to choose from, and more than 300 new and pre-driven vehicles available. Plus, qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on certified Audis. Drive an Audi and feel the difference in your driving experience. Drive an Audi from Continental and know the difference in an exceptional dealership. Experience the Continental Audi difference. ContinentalAudi.com. 36-month lease, $3,015 due outstanding, includes first month payment, tax, title, license, extra. Subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services.
Mike Rowe here. Today I'm with Frank, one of the heating and cooling pros at 1 Hour.
Frank's got his head up a vent right now. How's it going up there? Frank knows what he's talking about. He's been with 1 hour for how long, Frank?
14 years.
That's a long time. Over that time, he's worked on tons of different equipment, taken countless hours of training, and that makes Frank the man.
No, Mark Rose.
I'm sorry, Frank. Say again?
Mike Rose the man.
I heard him the first time. For any heating need, call 855 1 hour today. Say it again, Frank.
Mike Rose the man.
That's what I'm talking about. Each independent franchise is licensed in its respective state or county.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, are you a Netflix cheater? Dan will explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, here are the stories we're following right now. 3 killed, 2 critically wounded in a Southwest Side shooting. Very cloudy a day ahead for the morning. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. He calls them low-life leakers. And President Trump vows in a tweet they'll be caught. Also writing illegal classified leaking has been a big problem for years, calling on the New York Times and others to apologize. There's a new report that some intelligence is being kept away from the president. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the Wall Street Journal reports intelligence officials are withholding sensitive information from President Trump because they're concerned it could be compromised. The paper said the decision to hold back information underscores a mistrust between the president and the intelligence community. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence denied the report, saying any suggestion that the U.S. intelligence community is withholding information and not providing the best possible intelligence to the president and his national security team is not true. Dave.
Rachel, Russian President Putin has just said NATO is constantly provoking his country, trying to draw them into confrontation. This as our defense secretary holds more talks with NATO in Brussels. Fox's Simon Owen live in our European bureau.
Dave, Defense Secretary Jim Mattis ruling out working with Russia for the time being.
We are not in a position right now to collaborate on a military level.
Mattis saying political leaders instead will work to find common ground with Russia where possible. But he also said there's little doubt Russia has been interfering or attempting to interfere in foreign elections. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson meeting in Germany with Russia's top diplomat, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Dave?
Simon, it's raining in Oroville, California, and it won't stop until this weekend, making residents who had evacuated nervous. But water levels around the Oroville Dam are down.
We've taken almost 20 feet of the reservoir water surface is out of the reservoir.
Bill Croyle with California Water Resources. They've also been repairing an emergency spill well that eroded spillway. There's news just out on the economy. New home construction dropped nearly 3% last month, while first-time unemployment claims rose slightly last week to 239,000. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Gray skies this morning, 31 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Police are questioning a person of interest. Following a possible shooting on the Dan Ryan on Chicago's South Side, officers were called out early this morning to reports of shots fired near 63rd, and police tell us no one was hurt. Governor Bruce Rauner proposing what he calls a balanced budget, but expected savings, according to experts, will outstrip revenue by about $4 billion, and it could be more. 3 men are dead, 2 others in critical condition. Following a shooting on Chicago's Southwest Side, it happened yesterday near Pershing Road and Albany Avenue. Loved ones devastated following the shooting death of a 12-year-old Chicago girl. Canary Bowers died yesterday in the hospital. Meantime, a judge is denying bail for a 19-year-old Chicago man charged with Saturday's fatal shooting of an 11-year-old girl. Officials say former President Barack Obama returned to Chicago yesterday for the first time since leaving the White House, in town briefly discussing plans for his presidential library on the South Side. Chicago sports. Bulls clash with the Celtics tonight. Last night, a Big Ten loss for the Northwestern Wildcats. Number 24 Maryland with a 74-64 win. The news, a service of the Foundation for a Better Life. When Marlon Shirley was 5, he lost his foot. Today, as the world's fastest amputee, he runs the 100 meters in less time than it takes to listen to this. Overcoming, pass it on, from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com. It is 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of turnkey.pro from the Fox Business Network. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Boeing workers in South Carolina have said no to joining the International Association of Machinists. Nearly 3,000 workers were eligible to vote on whether to join the union. Verizon is reportedly lowering its deal to buy Yahoo by as much as $300 million. The Wall Street Journal says the two companies are discussing an agreement to share any future liabilities as a result of two massive hackings back in 2013 and 14. And now there are reports there was another Yahoo hacking sometime in 2015 or 16. Cisco Systems reported a weaker quarter. Lenovo Group says its personal computer business improved in the recent quarter, but its smartphone and data center units lost money. The Dow closed up 107 yesterday. NASDAQ added 36. S&P gained 11. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
It is 8:04 in Chicago. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You need to understand that the way you build wealth is you do not use the evening news or CNN or Fox to set the tone of your emotions around your investing.
The Dave Ramsey Show.
If you're thinking of changing your investing patterns because you're watching the news, you need to turn off the news. You are in charge of your destiny.
Dave Ramsey. Weeknights starting at 7. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
Men, if you're like me, you appreciate the feeling of a smooth, clean shave. But you're tired of paying $32 for new blades. Stop messing around with those generic razors and start shaving with Harry's for half the price. Harry's is so confident in the quality of their blades, they'll send you their most popular shave set, shaving cream, and post-shave balm for free when you cover shipping, a total value of $20. Just go to harrys.com now and enter code 0808 at checkout to redeem your shave set. That's harrys.com, code 0808.
Hiring is the most challenging part of my job.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. One click and my job was posted to 200 plus job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 200 plus job sites. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer.
8:06. Let's get an update on the roads in our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. In Warrenville, traffic is very heavy around the intersection of Warrenville Road and Winfield Road with crash blocking lanes in several directions. The Edens is just 20 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 25. The Kennedy, 55 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 34 from Montrose, 27 on the Express. Outbound 26 minutes downtown to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 12 minutes, Thorndale to Blue, 58 minutes from Manhunt. Outbound 35 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36 minutes. Ryan, 33 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 5. Lakeshore Drive southbound heavy, Foster to Fullerton and 18th to the Stevenson, northbound Marquette to Hayes and Oakwood to 31st. Northbound Tri-State, delays are from the Stevenson to 47th, from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, after the O'Hare Oasis to the Adams Tollway, Veterans Memorial stop and go 63rd to the Reagan Tollway, and from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Other tollways are good, traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Clouds and breaks of sun today, high 42. Patchy clouds through the night, low 32. Sunshine for tomorrow, high getting up to 59, and will turn out clear at night with a low 42. Then a mostly sunny day Saturday, high 61. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 30. Next news at 8:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by MyPartsGarage.com. Discount auto parts with fast free shipping and lowest prices guaranteed.
Good morning. Welcome to your Thursday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Just how much of a conversation did General Flynn have about Russian sanctions with the Russian ambassador? How much could he have possibly forgotten?
Michael Flynn, General Flynn, is a wonderful man. I think he's been treated very, very unfairly by the media, as I call it, the fake media in many cases.
Our alliance has been remarkably strong, but under your leadership,
I'm confident it will get even stronger.
But we can't tax our way to prosperity, nor can we just cut our way to a better future.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I want to get to this Netflix thing, but I want you to repeat to everyone. If you're going to whisper in the back of the room to me, you can. Whispering. I want you to come to the front of the class, and I want you to tell everybody what you said during the break.
Well, they're having this day without immigrants, so Rick Bayless, well-known chef, is shutting down his 4 restaurants, and I said he's going to lose tens of thousands of dollars because he's going to pay his employee while he's not making any money.
What about his hourly employees?
Those restaurants are packed. I mean, I tried to make a reservation last year, and they told me it was a year wait to go to Topolobampo.
Yeah, that's because they require a shirt and shoes. So here's the thing.
Yes. Because apparently you don't have to wait or something. Why don't you step to the front of the line and tell us how you're Dan Proft and you just walk into these restaurants and sit wherever you want?
That's basically how it works. So here's the thing, though, Bayless.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about it? Because he's made an ostentatious display of marketing his restaurants. Oh, excuse me. I mean virtue. You think he's going to lose money? He's getting tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertisements for his restaurants by making sure everybody knows what he's doing. Real inspired stuff. All right, Netflix.
Can I go to Topolobampo with you?
No,
Since I have to wait a year. No.
No, you may not. Don't use my name.
We're only friends here. Don't we? I pretend. Amy who? Oh, that? No, I have no idea who she is.
Just use Abe Froman. Just use that to get you in everywhere.
Bitter party of one. Your table's ready.
Yeah, and the way it works for me too is very much like the lonely guy when you get seated at a crowded restaurant. The spotlight, the center table,
right in the middle.
Yeah, the clanking of pulling off all of the other plates. Silverware. So the question, would you rather have your spouse cheat on you, like have an affair with another person, or cheat on you with respect to watching a Netflix series?
Oh.
So cheating, committing adultery, would you rather have that occur to you or have your spouse cheat on you with Netflix? According to Netflix data, 48% of streaming couples, that's a new term for the 21st century.
Well, yeah, because it's something people do together. I mean, it's a big deal. If you make a commitment to watch a series with your significant other and you break off, that's taboo. You're not supposed to do that.
That's why I cannot have a significant other. I cannot make that kind of commitment. That's just a bridge too far. 48% of streaming couples in the United States include at least one partner who has cheated on the other.
Oh, my God.
This is a global phenomenon. Mexico and Brazil have the most cheaters, 58, 57% respectively, while the Netherlands have the most coward men, 73% of viewers remaining true.
The Dutch.
Not the Dutch. Their wooden shoes and their tulips.
Windmills.
Nearly 2/3 of cheaters in the U.S. admitted they were unfaithful to their streaming partner due to an uncontrollable desire to find out what's next. And a lot of sorry, not sorry also going on. 3 in 5 say they would cheat more if they could be assured they wouldn't get caught. This is interesting, too. To the question I asked, 40% of those polled in Hong Kong, said they believed that watching ahead of your partner is worse than having an actual affair. 40%. It shows you the kind of the priorities in life. The sacred bond of Netflix watching is more. So 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636DA, turnkey.pro, text line. When it comes to watching, say, a Breaking Bad, a House of Cards,
Shameless,
a Broadchurch,
Orange is the New Black.
An Orange is the New Black.
So tempting. You just you can't wait for somebody else. You just got to sneak
The Fall,
around.
Black Mirror, Sneaky Pete, that's Amazon.
The Queen.
Could go on and on. We're disclosing how lonely and bereft of human interaction my life is by telling you all these series that I know and have watched.
Well, the worst is
The Killing,
You cheat and you pretend like it's new to you. That's a good one.
The Following.
What are you just like carpet lamp?
What are you talking about?
Are those shows? The Killing, The Following?
Yes, they're shows.
How do you have time? Oh, that's right, because you don't sleep, so you just stay up and binge watch.
Evil Never Sleeps. Now, my this whole issue was memorializing a great episode of Portlandia. Fred Armisen. What's the female comedian's name?
Amy Poehler?
Carrie Brownstein. Thank you. Carrie Brownstein in Portlandia, which is really funny. It's also funny because like Armisen and Brownstein are people of the left, but they're parroting the left, and they do it very effectively. But there's a binge watching episode where they basically their lives revolve around watching Battlestar Galactica, which I have also binge watched, so I know of what they parody.
Okay, listen. One episode, and then we go to dessert.
Okay, we'll definitely make it. Gotta be 40 minutes tops. This will be good. I heard really good things about it. It's not just regular science fiction. I heard it's actually good.
I love you.
Okay, episode 1.
Love you.
It's 2 days later.
Wow.
Okay, it was good.
That's so well done.
Do we have time to watch one more, you think?
I think so.
Oh, there it goes.
What?
That is crazy.
That's amazing.
I just texted Sarah happy birthday, so that's done. I have to get up early for work, so let's get in our PJs, and then we'll watch one more.
Okay, one more.
This is awesome.
So good. How is it so good?
What time is it?
Oh, my gosh.
It's like daylight already. How did that even happen?
We just stayed up all night.
Do you want to watch more?
My vacation day starts now.
So intense.
Oh my God, so good. Okay, let's just watch the first episode of season 2. That's all I want to see.
One more season.
I don't remember the last time I got in the bathroom.
Oh, my legs are like asleep.
I a little bit feel like I have a bladder infection, but I'm just gonna get antibiotics after the next episode. Yeah, okay, thanks. Bye. So, I lost my job.
One more episode?
Yeah. Service shut-off notice.
They're not gonna do that. Don't worry about it.
Okay, you're right.
Oh, what?
God, get the remote!
I'm looking for...
Brilliant. So that's where it can lead. I mean, I've watched, like, The Fall. This is the show with Gillian Anderson from X-Files. Mm-hmm. It's 3 seasons. I watched the 3 seasons in about 36 hours.
Oh, my God.
I spent about 14 hours of 36 hours watching The Fall.
Not to be a topper, but I almost watched an episode of Shameless here in the studio.
Yeah, no, I know. You kind of fade in and out of the show. Yeah.
Well, so I binge watched 7 seasons. 7 seasons.
Of Shameless?
Yeah. So I season 6, episode 3. I couldn't. I had to get through it, but I had this thing called a job.
Yeah.
I won't say a yap. A job.
Oh,
no, I know.
I'm sorry, Gil.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Gil and Chris.
And it was a rant you were going on. I thought, I could see how this ends right now. So I put in my little earbuds.
Yeah.
And held it underneath the.
Yeah, sure. Exactly.
And
Thank
then
you for
one
your
time, because you
contribution.
could drive and watch Netflix, but I want you to know that I did not do that. That's what I knew. I admitted to myself that I had a problem. I was binge watching. But now that Shameless, I completed the 7th season. I felt good. I patted myself on the back. And I'm like, okay, now.
What about with Peyton and Eli, the cheating issue? Are you a cheater like Peyton and Eli want to watch a series and?
Yeah, no. I just do it myself, and then I pretend as if it's new to me. For Stranger Than Fiction, we watched the first episode.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
that's
it's
just one
appropriate for them
season
to
so
see.
far.
Yeah. So I just, no, I'm not. And then one time I was caught in the closet watching Netflix, House of Cards. Been caught in another closet watching Orange is the New Black. Because you can't really watch Orange is the New Black around kids because it's kind of inappropriate.
If you're driving and watching Netflix, that's a sign you may have a problem. Also, if you're getting caught repeatedly hiding in closets, watching Netflix, watching different series. But there's so much good TV.
I know.
And this is releasing seasons at a time.
Why can't they just?
So brilliant.
Homeland is every Sunday night. They release one episode at a time.
Well, yeah.
Why can't we just do that?
Well, then you can wait, and then you binge watch 6 seasons in a weekend. You just
It's really no way to live,
seed
but
your
people
life.
do. You know, one woman just lost 150 pounds by, maybe you can follow suit.
Yeah, my morbid
'cause
obesity problem. Yeah. She lost 150 pounds by what?
So what?
Not eating?
Well, thank you. No, she decided, because she binge watches Netflix, so she decided to do it while on a treadmill. So instead of watching Netflix on her couch and eating 2 bags of chips and a bag of cookies, she got on this thing called a treadmill, and walked there during the entire season of whatever she was binge watching at the time, and lost 115 pounds.
Do those treadmills have cup holders for my scotch and a clip for my cigar? Because that's how I'm watching Netflix now. So I'm open to the treadmill idea, but I'd have to have enough room for all my stuff.
Right, your things.
150 pounds. All right.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
My wife and I, this is Ann B. Davis's bowling ball. My wife and I each keep 3 digits of a 6-digit parental code that must be entered to watch. It's like having 2 keys to enter the nuclear.
Just got the chills. That's a great idea. See, that's why he's still together with his wife.
That's right. It's kind of mutually assured destruction.
No cheating going on there. Today, mild with some clouds that you can see right now. Some sun breaking through by the afternoon, a high of 42 degrees. And then Friday, record-breaking warmth. We could hit a high of 60 degrees tomorrow. That would shatter a record from 1880. And Saturday and Sunday look spectacular both days. Record-breaking highs. We could have 65 degrees on Sunday. Let's get into the Alarm Detection System Traffic Center. Are you or are you not busy today on this day without immigrants, Jim Telemonte?
Well, I'm a one-man band here, Amy, so no help needed, I guess. But in Warrenville, we've got big delays on Winfield Road, especially northbound at Warrenville Road. There's a crash blocking lanes in both directions. Northwest side, still a heavy police presence at Belmont and Pulaski after a shooting in that area. The Edens is not busy. 20 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose and outbound 23. Kennedy, 56 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 27. The Ike, an hour and 13 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 36 minutes. Stevenson, an hour, 3:55 to the drive, outbound 36 minutes. The Ryan is 31 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-state delays are northbound from the Hinsdale Oasis to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, north on Veterans Memorials, those 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Lou Bridges Show. Get foreclosure defense solutions that may save your home. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had gout in both my knees, and it's gone.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life.
He had eczema on his hand, and it cracked for years. He did anything from doctor, every cream, everything. And 3 months on the veggies and fruit, it was gone.
They're just awesome. They keep asking me, what am I doing? I told them what I did with my cholesterol. I had the blood test, right? And it went down 100 points. 262, now it's 162. Everything is just perfect.
Balance of Nature is celebrating its 20th anniversary by providing you the best offer they've ever given. 2 free months of fruits and veggies and free shipping. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
The C.H. Hansen Company stands proud as a great American hand tool manufacturer. Founder C.H. Hansen was a Chicago native, and the company remains family-owned and operated for over a century and a half. C.H. Hansen wishes to thank their employees for their service and customers for their business. C.H. Hansen offers over 2,000 products, stock and custom order in 8 product categories, including steel stamps, stencils, metal tags, barricade and flagging tapes, plus Palmgren, makers of work-holding vices and metalworking machinery. Although business, products, customers, and the industry have changed, the leadership of C.H. Hansen continues to attribute success on the founding principles of faith and quality tools. The mission of C.H. Hansen is to glorify God by the way that they serve their customers, treat employees, and help community. This is accomplished by providing valued products, exemplary customer service, and operation excellence. Visit chhansen.com or palmgren.com for more information.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chris Veldman of ServiceMaster DSI, the largest ServiceMaster franchise in the United States and a customer of Signature Bank. In our business, we respond to disaster, and we never know when disaster will strike, whether it's flooding in Louisiana or a house fire in Chicago. Not all banks understand that need for flexibility, but Signature Bank does. That's why we consider them so much more than a bank. They have been our business partner since 2006, when their three co-founders, Mick, Kevin, and Brian, started the bank. Signature Bank is a key part of our growth strategy at ServiceMaster DSI.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
There you go.
What is it?
Portlandia theme song.
Oh, nice.
I binge watched that too. Some more text coming in. I binge watched Hell on Wheels on my Schwinn Airdyne.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
I've seen like a couple episodes of Hell on Wheels. I'll have to put that on the list. That's supposed to be good. The fun binge watching is the Heavy Water War, 3 languages and subtitles. Fun times. Yeah, it's like Norwegian, Danish, and British. I saw a few episodes. It's about World War II and the German nuclear program and the heavy water sabotage of that program in Norway. It was only okay for me.
Yeah.
So
didn't do anything.
I wouldn't put that near the top of your binge watching list. And our program director just texted us.
Yeah, because there was a picture of you at LAX airport when you were there for a function, and you had a plane flight delay, and he wanted to know what you were watching. That's Marcus Brown wanted to know what this is about, Dan.
Well, first of all,
what show were you watching?
First of all, I want to know how that picture got leaked. I want to see the FISA application.
Dan, you were in a public place.
I want the full transcript and audio released.
You look so studious sitting there in your little stool.
Yeah.
Like
I was
little
watching
gadgets. You have one, two, 3 different gadgets there. What were you watching?
Inspector
Fess up.
Gadget. I was watching The Following. I mentioned The Following. That's the Kevin Bacon series. He's a former FBI agent, and they're tracking down a cult and a cult leader.
Oh, is it good?
It's good. I mean, it kind of trails off and comes back a little bit. It's not great. It's not like, say, The Killing was really good.
Oh, The Killing. What's that about?
2 Seattle cops, different seasons chasing down different murders, particularly of children.
Oh, sounds great.
Yeah.
I'll watch it before I go to bed.
I like the uplifting stuff. Black Mirror's pretty good.
Black Mirror?
Black
What's
Mirror's
that
like,
about?
it's like, you ever watch Outer Limits?
No.
It's like, well, no, I can't make
Well,
that
no,
comparison.
just come on. I can learn.
It's like 20, 30 years in the future, and they're morality tales. So technology has advanced to such an extent, but the reason it's so good, as Outer Limits was, man's fallen nature doesn't change. So, the idea of like technology fixing us is a fantasy. And so it's just very good. There's a couple of episodes that are really good. One with the woman who played Buscemi's wife, Nucky Thompson's wife in Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good one where she plays a cop. And then there's one with John Hamm too from Mad Men. That's really good. So maybe you want to check that out with Peyton and Eli. Also, I wanted to get to this. Kurt Schilling, who may be our Republican nominee for the United States Senate against Pocahontas Crocodile. He's thinking about running against her in Massachusetts.
What is Pocahontas?
Pocahontas Crocodile.
Crocodile?
Crocodile.
Okay.
It's a little spinning. Sacagawea.
Yes, Sacagawea.
Yeah. He says, does Schilling, 80 to 85% of pro athletes are conservative. Look around professional sports. Look how many athletes there are, and look how many have come out and spoke out in favor of Clinton or in favor of liberals. They are because it's mainstream in the public eye to do that right now, like that goof Martellus Bennett. All the rest are, for the most part, are conservative because you don't come out and speak about stuff like that. It's work ethic. To get where they go, to get where a professional athlete gets, you have to work your arse off your entire life. You understand and appreciate an incredibly hard day's work that hopefully will pay off in the future. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. And I believe that. Now,
Jake Arrieta's conservative. Well, we don't know if he's conservative, but after Trump won, he said, the Hollywood elites who said they're going to move out of the country, bring it. I'll help you move.
yeah, that's very generous, very neighborly.
That makes you love the Cubs a little bit
Makes
more.
me like Jake Arrieta.
Cubs.
Now, one person, so 80 to 85% of pro athletes are conservative, says Schilling. One who is not, and of course, will be speaking at Northwestern as their commencement address speaker this year.
Did you get the nod? Did you get asked?
Billie Jean King. I was a close second. Billie Jean King will speak at this year's commencement address at Northwestern.
Wow.
Now, I hate to
Be nice.
hate to raise the specter of this, but
Yes.
Bobby Riggs threw that match.
Oh, here we go.
That Battle of the Sexes match.
Yeah, I remember. I watched it. I
Yeah.
thought it was fascinating. This is going to be great. She's going to smoke him, or maybe not.
Yeah.
All right. What happened? Why was
he
it
threw
rigged again?
And sport. This is not me conjuring up a story out of whole cloth. This is Sports Illustrated did a story about. This is in the last couple of years. Bobby Riggs had major gambling debts, and he threw the match to pay off, his mob bookies. Basically, that's the backstory. No, I don't know if that's true, but it was a pretty compelling story that Sports Illustrated put together. So I hate to ruin it for the gals and the feminine hero Billie Jean King because she won the Battle of the Sexes. But
What year was that? Do you remember?
73. Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah.
73.
You were 40 years old.
So, yeah.
You
my
just celebrated your 40th birthday.
Yeah. I was just turning the corner on my 30s. Here's the thing, too, about that. About Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs. It just goes back to this whole thing. I can't wait till we combine the sports. No male and women's no men and women's tennis, just tennis. We'll see how many titles Serena Williams racks up when it's male. When it's just tennis and basketball and every other sport. No gender. We don't see gender. I can't wait to see if Billie Jean King raises this issue at Northwestern.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer. Life should be an adventure, and so should your health. It's another can't-miss Health Quest radio show this Saturday morning. Dr. David Kolbaba.
I'm the host of Chicagoland's longest-running health, news, and science show. As a primary natural health care practitioner, I've been helping people just like you reach a higher place of health and longevity, utilizing more natural strategies as I believe our Creator meant it to be.
Create your adventure in health. Tune into Health Quest Radio every Saturday morning at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm not a genius about money. I love my credit cards, and they love me. I was using them as a source of income, and then I got behind in my payments, and creditors were calling. I heard about Trinity, so I called and talked to a counselor. Now I've got one easy monthly payment, a lower interest rate, and I'm getting out of debt.
If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976.
AM 560. The Answer.
And coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
We'll talk about whether or not there is a enemy inside the perimeter problem within the intelligence community with Congressman Adam Kinzinger at 8:38.
and what would you like your obituary to say about you? But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, two top House Republicans this morning are calling on the Justice Department to investigate White House leaking that led to the ouster of National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. House Oversight Committee Chairman Jason Chaffetz and House Judiciary Committee Chairman Bob Goodlate say they have concerns about inadequate protections of classified information. Meantime, intelligence officials are denying they have been keeping some information from the president. Wall Street Journal citing sources who said some intelligence was being withheld. A man accused of buying 2 assault rifles used in the 2015 San Bernardino terror attacks is due in federal court today. Enrique Marquez is expected to plead guilty. He was a friend of Siad Farouk, who carried out that deadly terror attack with his wife. The acting director of the California Department of Water Resources says the damaged main spillway at the Oroville Dam that forced massive evacuations is holding up under new water releases.
The dam structure is safe. We are working on those areas that have been challenged by the loss of a portion of the spillway. The spillway has been stable for a number of days now.
However, the Butte County Sheriff is telling nearby community members close to Oroville that it is still an emergency situation. Businesses in a number of major U.S. cities, some are closed today as part of what's being termed a nationwide strike and called the Day Without Immigrants. Police are questioning a person of interest following a possible shooting on the Dan Ryan near 63rd. 3 men are dead, 2 others in critical condition following shootings on Chicago's southwest side. Chicago police tell us all 5 were shot yesterday near Pershing Road and Albany Avenue. And a former Lake County coroner is accused of lying about having witness signatures on his election nominating petitions. Thomas Rudd was indicted yesterday on 5 felony counts of perjury. The indictment claims Rudd lied that he personally gathered voters' signatures on his nominating petitions for his failed 2016 re-election bid. Bulls clash with the Celtics tonight at the United Center just ahead of the All-Star break. The news a service of Advance Auto Parts. Need a part? Order the parts you need online at advanceautoparts.com. Pick them up in-store in just 30 minutes. So you can get back to the garage doing what you love. Order online at advanceautoparts.com. 8:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says it's all about substance from Trump.
Will you explain to me why like-minded Americans get more hung up on the way President Trump words a tweet than the merits of what it is he's trying to do? Will someone answer that question for me? Why do the tweets become more important than the substance?
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Come by Discount Tire this Friday and Saturday for incredible President's Day deals. Save up to $320 on select tire and wheel packages purchased with Discount Tire credit. Thank you, Discount Tire.
You're the one that gets it done. The person your friends call to see if you can fix it. Brakes? No biggie. Shocks and struts? Simple and straightforward. The catalytic converter heat shield? Come on. If it has wheels, you can make it go. But not having the right part can bring your project to a screeching halt. Problem solved with MyPartsGarage.com. My Parts Garage is not a big box store that needs to wait to get a part in. My Parts Garage is the warehouse that sells wholesale to you. They own the inventory, so your part is always in stock. But wait, there's more. Like free shipping within 24 hours, in-state next-day delivery, or pick it up today at the warehouse. Plus, the customer service is seriously awesome. So the last thing you need to do is drive fast and furiously to find auto parts. With the average driver in Chicago commuting at least 24 miles per day, people are spending more hours in their car than they do at home. Drivers need you, the mechanic. You need MyPartsGarage.com. Lowest prices guaranteed.
When I hear realtors boast about servicing a 3-county area or selling a home every 15 minutes, I think, what level of service could their clients possibly be getting? This is Chris Jacobs with Century 21 affiliated in Inverness, and my message is a little bit different. If being a realtor for more than 20 years has taught me one thing, it's that all real estate is local. While I can't say I'm the #1 realtor in the country, I can tell you that over the past 10 years, I've sold more homes in Inverness than anyone else. My team specializes in Inverness, Palatine, and Arlington Heights. We pride ourselves on providing our clients exceptional customer service and local market knowledge. So if you're selling your home or looking to purchase a property in our area, then call me, Chris Jacobs, at 847-401-4859. That's 847-401-4859. Or visit us at chrisjacobshomes.com.
Each office independently owned and operated, an equal housing opportunity.
$8:37. Let's get a check of the roads. Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center time. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens Expressway is rather light. It's just 20 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. Inbound Kennedy, though, is snarled from Central to the Hubbard Tunnel. 56 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 39 from Montrose, 32 in the Express. Outbound, just a 5-minute delay, Montrose to Sayre. Inbound Eisenhower, an hour and 16 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, an hour and 2 minutes from Manheim. Outbound, 32 minutes to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. It's clear outbound. Orion, 29 minutes, 95 to downtown. Lakeshore Drive, southbound slow Wilson to Fullerton. Northbound from Marquette to Hayes. Northbound tri-state delays are from Ogden to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Reagan Tollway westbound at Eola, there's a crash on the right side. Other tollways are fine. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Milder day ahead, clouds and breaks of sunshine and a high of 42. Currently 31. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Oh, there we go. Now I have a microphone. It's still Dan and Amy, but we just have microphones now, and that's helpful. So Donald Trump yesterday, after his meet with Bibi Netanyahu, they presented themselves to the assembled press, asked a number of questions, including on the departure of General Flynn as Trump's national security advisor, and President Trump had this to say.
Michael Flynn, General Flynn, is a wonderful man. I think he's been treated very, very unfairly by the media, as I call it, the fake media in many cases. And I think it's really a sad thing that he was treated so badly. I think in addition to that, from intelligence, papers are being leaked, things are being leaked. It's criminal act. And it's been going on for a long time before me, but now it's really going on. And people are trying to cover up for a terrible loss that the Democrats had under Hillary Clinton. I think it's very, very unfair what's happened to General Flynn, the way he was treated, and the documents and papers that were illegally, I stress that, illegally leaked.
Well, so the issue is it's more than unfair, potentially. It's potentially illegal activity, and potentially activity that is illegal and endangers national security if you have an enemy inside your perimeter problem at CIA, for example. And this that comment is in response in part to a story in the Wall Street Journal today about spies keeping intelligence from Trump because they're afraid that that information will be leaked. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by our friend, Congressman Adam Kinzinger from Illinois' 16th Congressional District. Adam, thanks for joining us.
You bet, thanks.
So what about what Trump had to say, not just about Flynn on a personal level in the media, but about the intelligence community leaking, and then this story in the Journal today about potentially withholding information from the president? This seems to be troubling.
Yeah, it's kind of troubling all around. From what I understand with the Wall Street Journal story, the issue isn't more holding back intelligence; it's holding back how it was gathered. And frankly, even when I get high-level intel briefings, they won't tell you their sourcing or methods, not because we're not cleared for that information. We are, but in many cases, there's just no reason to tell. And so I think that's part of it. Yeah, in terms of the leaks, this is a huge problem. And part of the issue right now is, frankly, the administration has been very slow at putting people in place. Part of that is, the high-level folks, the Senate Democrats are not working to get these guys in place in time. But the other thing is they're way behind on some of the lower-level folks. And so you have, I think, a lot of Obama holdovers, frankly, that are still there. And my guess, and I don't know, this is just merely speculation, is that one of those kind of holdovers that seek to embarrass Donald Trump, but maybe they have a concern, I don't know, are leaking it. It's a big problem. And then just briefly on his comments about Flynn. Look, I don't think the sin was necessarily in Flynn talking to the Russians. I think it was highly inappropriate, but I don't think that was necessarily a sin or illegal. What became the crime was the cover-up and the follow-up where Flynn said it never happened. They lied to the vice president. The vice president went on the Sunday show. And frankly, an honorable man, Mike Flynn, did the honorable thing by resigning.
So meet Donald Trump, his opposition party now seems to be the media. And it's just getting so tiresome, him keep calling out fake media. It's the fake media. Do you think that there's fake media, fake news reports out there? Do you think CNN is fake?
No, and it's going to tick some people off when I say it. Look, the media has a very important constitutional role to play. And frankly, to any president, and I wish they'd have done this way more on President Obama, but to any president, I think the media has to be kind of a aggressive party against it. I mean, that's the way we hold our government accountable. And so I think to continually say that is doing a disservice. I mean, look, he's a unique guy. He can say things. He's got his reasons, kind of work for him now. But I think having a aggressive media in opposition is actually very important. But I don't think there's anything wrong, by the way, with calling out extreme media bias. I think there is no doubt that turn on some of these news networks and there's absolute bias out there, and I think that's okay to call out.
Yeah, I mean, the suspension of journalistic standards has been most, I think, persuasively documented by Michael Wolff. No, part of the vast right-wing conspiracy, a Vanity Fair, Hollywood Reporter, Newsweek columnist, who has documented what the New York Times has become, what the New Yorker has become. These legitimate journalists from a bygone era talking about everything is anonymously sourced.
Yep.
And, it becomes a bit troubling. I understand anonymous sources need to be used, names need to be withheld, sources protected, of course. But the whole kind of posture of the media, and then layering on the lack of verification and the number of stories that these big Eastern Seaboard outlets have gotten totally wrong, that were totally incorrect. There's a basis not to say the whole organization is fake news or something like this, but that the suspension of standards leads you to report things that aren't true.
Yeah, and frankly, to be honest, Dan, my belief in the free market is that a lot of the times this kind of stuff can shake itself out. And my hope, I don't know if we ever get there, but my hope is that people are going to get tired of bias at all levels, and there's going to be a market for just a fair reporting of the news again. I mean, look, there's no doubt Donald Trump has done some strange things, said some strange things, and he's very unique, and so there's a lot of stuff that he can make news on. But there's also the fact that he's not from a foreign policy perspective. I look at Donald Trump and say every move he has made is exactly what I think is the right move to reclaim our role in the world when President Obama let it go for 8 years. And you don't see any good news about that. It's always just kind of the issue du jour.
Right. I mean, buried yesterday was SecDef Mattis telling fellow NATO members that, no longer can the American taxpayer carry a disproportionate share of the defense of Western values. He told the NATO alliance's other 27 defense ministers yesterday. So, that's putting a marker down.
Yep. And his best line was, he goes, "The American people cannot care for your children more than you do."
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow. And so he sent a tough message to NATO, but also a very supportive message. We are committed to NATO. We've been very aggressive against Russia under President Trump. We've definitely pushed back against Iran under President Trump. Same with China, North Korea, and everything else. So, look, he's done a lot of great things. He can be sometimes his own worst enemy on Twitter, but, at the same time, folks need to start reporting on some good things, too.
All right, back to the alleged leaks. I mean, Republicans, your colleague Chaffetz wants to have an investigation, but they want to investigate the leak. But what about the contacts between Trump officials and Russia officials during the campaign?
Yeah,
or is that more fake news?
I think if you're going to investigate the leaks, you got to investigate the broader issue, which is the Russia issue too. Rand Paul the other day made the unfortunate statement of Republicans should not be investigating other Republicans. Well, look, our job is not to be concerned with what party we are; it's to be concerned with our country. I think an investigation of what happened with Mike Flynn, some of the broader context of Russia and Trump, would actually is probably going to happen, and it should happen in the Intelligence Committee. But and I think within those Intelligence Committees, we ought to also figure out where these leaks are coming from. And frankly, that's up to the administration too, to figure out where there's where the leaks are in their administration, and I think they're going to be on that. But every administration has always had leaks. This is just a little out of control right now.
I want to get to some economic policy questions, most notably because there's some uneasiness. We talked to Steve Moore yesterday, some impatience about tax reform being put on the back burner. When are we going to see cuts to the corporate and personal income tax to spark a little bit of economic growth in the country?
Well, look, my hope is soon. My hope is before we leave, it's hard to predict the date, but definitely before we leave for August recess, you're going to have a package hopefully up and out, which is actually amazingly quick. Here's the problem, though. I mean, in tax reform, there's always going to be somebody that doesn't like something in tax reform. And, for instance, we're talking about a border adjustment tax, which in totality is actually what every other country does, and I frankly don't think it's a bad thing. But there are, senators now who are saying, it may hurt our retailers, so we don't want a border adjustment tax. So this is a nuanced process, but I got to tell you, Paul Ryan, the Republicans, including myself, are committed to saying this is extremely important. Bring the overall rate down. Now, Illinois, by the way, is a completely different thing. Illinois is getting ready to raise your taxes and not reform anything.
Yes.
And frankly, the governor's done a great job of holding out and saying we have to have reforms, but Illinois is in a tough position.
He's done a great job of holding out right up until he stopped holding out with yesterday's budget address, in my view, but we'll pick that up another time. He's Congressman Adam Kinzinger, Republican from the 16th Congressional District. Adam, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Thanks, guys. Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Clouds today, but warmer weather. A high today of 42 degrees, some sunshine by this afternoon. And then tomorrow, Friday, sunny with temperatures approaching the record of 60 degrees, which was set back in 1880. I know you've heard me say it many times, but the whole weekend looks great too. Saturday, Sunday, even Monday for President's Day. Highs in the mid to lower 60s. No complaints there. Anything to gripe about in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center? Here's Jim Telemonte.
In general, Amy, things aren't too bad. The Edens is just 20 minutes, like Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. The Kennedy, heavy, but it could be a lot worse. The travel time is 51 minutes right now from O'Hare to downtown. 35 from Montrose, 30 in the Express, and outbound just 23 minutes downtown to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 5 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, outbound 31 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 3:55 to the Drive. The outbound side's clear. Ryan, 29 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford got delays from Sibley to before the Steel Bridge with a stall in the left lane, but it's not a long backup. The northbound Tri-State still a little bit heavy at 290. Tollways have lightened up. Northwest Indiana, just fine. I'm Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Well, less than 1 month. That's all the time left for you to book your trip to join us, Joe Walsh, in Punta Cana this spring. So stop procrastinating and book that trip today. We'll be staying at the Secrets Cap Cana Resort and Spa in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. It's a brand new resort. 5 gourmet restaurants, 7 bars, lots to do. There'll be a foam party in the pool, I'm sure. There's 24-hour day room service for when you want to order a cheeseburger at midnight after a long day of drinking at the pool. So whether you want to sit by the pool, read a book, enjoy a cold drink, smoke a cigar, or hit the beach and enjoy a little beach volleyball, there's something for everyone. Get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com, keyword passport. That's 560theanswer.com/passport. But hurry, time is running out. Spots are filling up quickly. The price point Apple Vacation has secured for us is amazing. So do it. Go to 560theanswer.com, keyword passport.
Napa know-how. When you grab a pair of Bosch Evolution Beam wiper blades, now $10 off at Napa, you'll have the confidence to tell Mother Nature to bring it. Bring the rain, snow, sleet, the almighty, all-powerful El Nino, and even more rain. Because with Bosch Evolution wiper blades, now $10 off when you buy a pair, you'll show the weather who's really the boss. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 2/28/17.
So our team just started using GoToMeeting to web conference, and it's been surprising. Well, guys, our company is growing fast. I'm thinking we should
expand overseas.
2 weeks later, it happened again.
Now it looks like our distributors in France can't keep up with demand. The team should
look at moving into Asia. But now our team connects a little too well.
It's great we're opening a new location in Osaka. Konnichiwa, Japan.
When you connect better, everything comes together. GoToMeeting. Try it free at gotomeeting.com.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, brought to you by upstream-ideas.com. Much attention is focused on the totalitarian re-education camps that college campuses have become, but it's in K-12 where the indoctrination has generally begun. A case study is New Trier High School, a top public high school in Illinois that enjoys a national reputation because of its many famous graduates. Black students account for less than 1% of New Trier's student body. To make up for its diversity deficit, the high school's $420,000 a year superintendent instituted a mandatory racial rights Seminar Day during Black History Month. A review of the seminar's offerings reveals the Black Lives Matter-directed sessions to be among the more measured, amid those that characterize the Chicago police as perpetrators of urban genocide, and Colin Kaepernick's bended knee as something that should be immortalized in bronze. A parents group objected to the one-sidedness of the program, suggesting conservative black speakers to broaden the perspectives for consideration by students. That notion was summarily rejected, just as Bob's Country Bunker and the Blues Brothers featured both kinds of music, country and Western. So one of the country's best high schools features both kinds of public K-12 education, virtue signaling and bigot baiting.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, Dan, how do you think your obituary is going to read? Because there's a man in Texas whose obituary was titled this: "His life served no obvious purpose."
Oh, it's a tough opener.
Yeah, Leslie Ray Charping died at the age of 75. He was from Galveston, Texas, and he died after a month-long battle with cancer, and his daughter wrote this obit. At a young age, Leslie quickly became a model example of bad parenting combined with mental illness and a complete commitment to drinking, drugs, womanizing, and being generally offensive. With Leslie's passing, he will be missed only for what he never did, being a loving husband, father, and good friend. This is the best. Leslie's passing proves that evil does in fact die, and hopefully marks a time of healing and safety for all.
It's well written. I'll tell you what, to answer your opening question,
Yeah.
if when I pass on,
transition.
If you could just cut and paste, just put my name into that obituary and I'm all set.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and